as the normal world is constantly expanding and contracting, and so moving about it, you would need a map, but even the map would just kind of broken into general terms. And so you all decided there was 2 locations to kind of start with, and you decided to go to Elysia Fallen, which is like the old Elysia where all the heroes and champions would have gone, kind of like a heavenly place within the underworld for those who are righteous or virtuous, those who have done great deeds in their lives. But we also know that Elysia is fallen because Erebos, during that war with Phoenix many episodes ago, took all of Elysia, crumbled it, and dropped it into a great, cavern, chasm deep within the underworld. And so you're starting there because I think sounds like what you were saying last game is you're trying to work your way that way down to, towards, I imagine hopefully maybe even finding some of those other fallen heroes on your way through to Erebos's castle or palace or whatever you may call it. And then on that journey through Elysia, it still looks quite beautiful. It doesn't have the same dread as everywhere else. It's kind of a surreal, dreamlike, heavenly state, but slightly tainted by Erebos's darkness. Now you can tell because many of the spoil, like I described how the fruit and the grapes, they spoil on the vine, and you see snakes slithering in the paths, and the tint of the trees isn't as bright as they should be, right? And the forest has that ominous like mist, where the rays of light don't cut through in the way they should. And so on your path while walking, you also met Apple on the shores, Apodexis on the shores, because when he died, he should have went to Elysia, but Elysia's fallen, so he was stranded on the shores, and he now is traveling with you all. And there is some great beast that is a worm that is following him that he told you about. And while you're traveling, you also came across a little frolic, a little revel going on between the abs, we'll call abs, and the ladies. And Telmoon and Persis went in and jumped in there. Persis was getting like a nice little like story read to with her guy while he's feeding her grapes, and Telmoon was doing Telmoon. You all saw the stuff y'all posted, pretty much tells us what Telmoon was doing. And the rest of the party was I went back and watched it today, and I thought it was funny that I described you all as looking from the bushes, so everybody suddenly became peeping toms in the scene, like, what are we doing? But then finally the group was like, nah, this is not right, something's up with this, we need to stop this, as Telmoon and Persis are being drawn in. So Apple, like Apple does, runs in there, roars, wakes the, kind of shakes things up, causes a couple of these, nymphs who look very beautiful to suddenly go feral, right? Their eyes go like wolves, and their teeth, the fangs come out, and their hair turns black, and they pull at the strands of their hair, which kind of whip and kind of braid up and become these like black long blades, almost like what we would consider like a long katana, like Sephiroth long blades. And they prepare to attack, but not before, while both Persis and Telmoon were kind of enraptured in their moment, a kiss was laid on Telmoon, and whether it was a kiss or not on Persis, the same energy was sapped out of them, like life force suddenly jolting through their bodies, and some damage was done. And that's where we were going to begin with us rolling initiative. Anybody want to add anything to that? I know that was a lot, but yeah, that's the recap that I got. Am I missing anything or anything worth adding? Nothing.
Where's this entrance, or where?
Oh yeah, I also should pull up. You can also go in the Legend Keeper to see where we are on the map, and then I can also share it here in a moment if I can pull it up. It's very general, so I don't have it's not like a very detailed map, but it gives you a general idea of where you're at inside of this world. If you go into Legend Keeper and go into the THEROS, map, and then zoom in on that,
Got it.
the underworld.
We're like at the base of the castle structure.
Not the
area.
base, the very top. So where you all are at is, you see the one that says Elysia Fallen, like the golden spires.
Oh, yes. Okay.
On the map, and the map talks to you, and it shares. There's a map that was given to you by one of the ferrymen who kind of ushered you, and you all left your boat behind, right? Zindali, who is the Archon, princess, has come with you. The rest of the group, including Medios, has stayed back on the ship. Kai, the dragon, is with you, as you can see there on the battlefield. And so on the map, that is what Elysia Fallen kind of like represents on the map. But imagine that. But that structure is no longer even in the land. And now it's rolling, beautiful rolling hills. But you can see off in the distance a great, gaping, gargantuan, God, to put it in Fathom, this kind of cosmic level hole that's in the middle of the world. And that's the farthest thing from your mind. Now, at the moment, as you are facing off with these nymphs who are out to drain your life force and essence. Yeah. See some family. Okay, check it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I know. Yeah, so because I know you weren't here. So if you get lost in anything, if you have questions, ask your group, ask me, Eddie, so we can kind of get you caught up. For sure.
All right.
But let's roll initiative then. Let me pull out Taroxy's because he's not here. And then we remember that Zindali has a way to zap people from the ship to the group, so Taroxy stayed on the ship. Bard is here, Moon's here, everybody else except for Appo. Sweet. And then, all right, so Persis got 21, but Tillman should be first. Okay, fair enough.
Dex is pretty good, right?
Bart got a 19. Moby with a 24. You guys just killing these high numbers.
Yeah, I have an 18 dex.
Okay.
Not like superhuman, but it does what it does.
Sophia 17. Moon 21. Fitz 12. Okay.
Wait, Versus, are you running?
Am I running? I'm probably gonna try.
Okay. Do we want to take a break or anything before we get started? How's everybody ready to jump in?
We're recording?
We are recording now. Yes. Actually, I'll just do a quick bathroom break just now, and then we can get to it. Right back.
All right. Just a reminder, this is a dungeon crawl, so we don't want to burn everything right at the get-go.
Yeah, I was planning on using a second level spell to get Persis out of here, but because I think Persis, no, I guess Persis, you have Eldritch Blast, so you're not more reliant on spells than I am, and you have
cantrips for days. Yeah,
cantrips for days.
What?
But
How? I may have missed this during the recap. How did the encounter begin? Did someone just see something and be like,
there were sexy ladies? Yeah,
Jason.
exactly.
Did they just like dancing around? And
They were making offers that we could not refuse. They literally jumped on Telma. Like I couldn't.
to be fair, they were sexy people.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw those abs. So
I mean, I did.
So yeah, there were sexy people, and the guy was like, "I don't want it," and Telma was like,
I'll take
that
it.
that an open offer?
Okay.
Well, that's good.
And so right now it's you and Persis that is sort of
Persis noticed that the man was reading a book and decided also to come and partake.
Yeah, they had like a hot intellectual conversation.
I fucking love that. Oh, I
You said
I did not expect that to come. Shit, Eddie.
yeah, sorry, it's
fucking
just so
love
good. It's
fucking
such
love the way you
You
said that
haven't
with some
seen Coffee.
conviction. Like,
I expect
Oh,
all of that from Eddie.
Said that shit with
Let's
some
go.
passion.
Yeah. I'm
it was
sorry,
actually
I'll-
going pretty well. Apple wouldn't have had to ruin, the good time.
It was like you should have told me there was books involved, man. But Moby would have been out there too.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
Did Moby did? Hey, get him, Moby.
Yeah.
That's how we supposed to roll, Moby. That's what I expect to see every
I
time.
like it.
Moby going first. Well, maybe not first.
Trying to figure out how he would react versus I want to react a certain way.
Yeah, it's
I
always
need
about
to
how Moby would
do
react
that.
for sure.
And yeah, let Moby do his thing here.
So Persis is still back there where they were like kicking it. The guys just kind of jumped up from the roar, and everyone's kind of snapped out of their charm. And then Telmoon is there. He the lady just kind of dropped him out of her embrace, so he slammed on the
I
ground. Like, what are you
understand
guys
the spacing
doing?
for the camera, but
I know
Jason is mad that Colin's characters are always stealing all my girls. Why all my girls over by Colin? What happened? I get it. I understand. But also, I hate you, Colin.
And then rest of the group is kind of back here in the cut.
Okay.
That big ass dragon.
But yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be a problem at all.
No.
I was like, what are
It'll
them
all go
legs?
really well.
He zoomed out. I was like, oh, Kai's back there.
So, let's see here. And so kind of as we enter the scene, the roar's gone out, the nymphs have kind of changed their tone, transforming that kind of blue, almost translucent skin as the stars are kind of shining, like long hair kind of running down their back, like just like this dark flowing that flows into just nothing but into like a smoky smoke. And you can see the wailing. You don't hear them, but these kind of wailing faces in the hair. Like I said, those spectral or feral eyes. Blades come out. No one has attacked here. And can I have a insight check from Persis?
Well, it went on the floor, but it was a natural one. So.
Okay. And so feeling like that life surge through you like, the only thing you do see is that at that exact moment, you're, kind of lying there in that like picnic position, you and the fellow, this Adonis, you don't even know his name. He seems to leap back at that moment of shock where that power, where you're feeling that all that transfer of energy and life like kind of leap out of you. He seems to leap back in a bit of his eyes kind of in shock and standing up, and doesn't, from what you see, does not transform in the same way that the other nymphs do. He still looks the same way, and so with that, Moby's gonna be up when we come back from our credits. Moby, then Persis, then Telmoon, then Bart before any of the nymphs are able to react. Were you going to say something, Persis?
Just clarification. I'm aware that he hurt me quite badly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So welcome back to our Bronze Bullies Space Odyssey. As we find our Bronze Bullies in battle right now. Deep, not even deep, just in that kind of, just getting there in that first, in Elysia Fallen. And as things kick off, kind of push in on little Moby, who, and find out what he does here.
I'm kind of walking towards the direction of Persis.
And you all can hear music, right? And is it okay? Nikki,
Yeah.
not too loud? Okay.
No, it's good.
All right.
I want to walk kind of slowly, kind of like, I don't know, I guess. Slowly make my way to Persis, yelling your name, being like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm not sure if, like, I really, I wasn't, who knows? I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at things, and I'm just kind of yelling your name with my, like, ready to take my...
How far do you want to go? Because don't you have like a movement of something crazy like 45 or something?
I'm not in spectral form at the moment.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
30.
30, then that's 30 where I have you right there behind the rock. You see Persis right on the other side, maybe 10 feet away from you. Persis, you're welcome to, react and, tell if you're trying to react either by saying something or just showing it through your visual body language.
Yeah, she's definitely like eyes wide, probably mouth a little bit agape, shocked at this, probably like embarrassment tempered by just being hurt so badly, and she's like trying to back away. She was laying down, so like still face up, trying to scramble away.
Okay, so I kind of notice the kind of the backpedaling there, and I start yelling at one of the let's see, where is he? Whichever creature was kind of right next to him, and I jump from that rock. Should have enough distance to just kind of jump in front or in between them with my short swords out, and I'm just kind of...
You said you're only moving at 30 feet right now, right? Or are you?
Yes.
So then where I put you is where you would have ended.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. Well,
you have your bonus action.
I do. Yeah, I'm just gonna put myself in between both of them.
Okay. Between the guy.
Just kind of pointing my sword.
Is that yeah, and pointing your blade at him?
Yep. And I'm just... You... What have you done to my friend? The mysterious book that you have in your hand.
He that's all the time you have where, he has no time to respond. He's just going, like kind of taking a step back. He kind of looks in shock. Does that... Actually, if you're not trying to attack, are you holding your action?
I'm holding my action.
Okay, if you're holding action, then I'm not gonna like make this like a kind of like a charisma based like kind of role playing thing there. So okay, so he doesn't respond to anything there. This moves us to Persis.
That's fine. Go.
Oh yeah, or Persis can
No, I like Persis going first. So Persis is ready.
Oh yeah,
to go.
you could. I mean, honestly, you can swap. You guys both have the same. Yeah, so I'm sorry. So Jason, you can. It just has it that way on D&D Beyond. I can't swap it, but I could just, you know what I actually can do?
I could just, it's alphabetical.
I'll just give you.
I
gave you a 22, and now you're.
It's fine. He stole my girls. He can steal my initiative.
Tell Moon, you are up.
Please.
Yeah. Tell Moon probably is pulls his face out, takes a big breath. Darn we out here trying to be PC. Don't give me that face, Troy. I can't explain on camera. We gonna move out. Notice the new blades. This is different. Probably have to process that for a second. Is this a game? Is this normal? But touching his sword probably would here or there cries of "Stop! This is bad." So he's gonna bonus action Ancestral Guidance. He'll go Super Saiyan, and then he was going to get Persis out, but now Moby's here. You know what? He is actually going to. He's going to run away from this one. This one was fun. Doesn't want this one to die first. He's going to run away from this one and run across the way to the farthest one.
So, to the one here?
The one who betrayed him. Yep, the one who betrayed him and left for somebody else.
So as you go dashing over, she goes, "Come back, I have no problem with you. I wouldn't use these on you." As you run over there. So she takes no attack.
Are we uncharmed? Am I still charmed?
You're not charmed.
Okay, just double checking. I'm like, if that happened, because I'm still charmed, then I mean, I went out for a breath and went right back in. If that's the case, but no, if that's the case, then I will. How much movement was that?
About 25.
Okay, cool. I will attempt to stab this one, and you see the thunderous energy swirling around the rapier as he thrusts. No, Troy, stop it. With this real rapier. That is a what's my modifier? 25?
Okay, that will hit.
Okay.
She gets slashed. For how much damage?
Slashing Thunder Radiant. Is there anything that needs to be?
Flashing Thunder.
Before I start giving
Nope,
you numbers.
you can add those all
37.
up. 37.
And then Telmoon will move back over to defend Persis, because apparently we're not leaving. You know what? No, Telmoon thinks Persis is smart. Telmoon will just circle back a little bit behind the rock, just so he's not in melee with anybody anymore.
Okay, so you're going back. over there?
Yeah. I'm trying to give my friends AoE regions if they have AoE regions, because I know people like to throw hot stuff.
So she
I'd
can
rather
take an
not be in it.
opportunity of attack against you.
The second one cannot. The first
Second
one
one
could
can.
have.
Okay.
I know. My character build sucks. I'm sorry.
No problem. So you're done?
That is me, yeah.
And I left the light off. Yeah. She will use her legendary action and move back in.
She will take another 21 Thunderact damage.
Okay. She's like kind of gets close to you, taking that damage, feeling the thunder roll through.
Throw a wink.
Let's see here. Following this, why'd you have to go and do that? We'll use Persis is up.
Those were used by the kiss, unfortunately.
Yeah. So did Moby is now interposed between Persis and this guy? Like, am I still in range where if I back away, there's an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, you don't have any
Yeah.
Technically, if I was being real quick, you would. So I think I'll tell you this. Yeah, you are. He's narratively in between you. So if you back up, there's a chance you get attacked.
Yeah. But then the one behind us is
The one behind you is not in attack. It's not in within 5 feet of you. So if you look on the overhead, no, I can't. It doesn't get. It doesn't.
So I
get
think
too much closer.
that's enough.
Yeah.
Explanation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're good. Yeah. So Persis is gonna look to Abs. Be like, people don't usually take advantage of me that way, and is going to reach out. As she does, bonus action Hex,
Okay.
and is going to try to hit him with a shocking grasp.
Okay.
For 26 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Haven't done this one in a while.
It's a handy one.
For 20 damage. Does it matter splitting up lightning and necrotic?
No, doesn't.
Okay.
Um.
Yeah. She reaches out, grasps his forearm, and that lightning glances out.
He like starts to like shake and then kind of runs through him, and you start to see his like kind of body lighting up from the inside, and he kind of he shifts, and what he you've done that shocking grasp probably to something other creatures in the material plane, and here in the underworld it kind of like shows that you're grabbing onto something that is both physical and you're able to touch, but is also ethereal. He kind of like shifts between your touch and like constantly like feeling like you might lose grip at any moment. And then he goes, he's like, sorry. And he burns away into like ash and stars.
Oh.
And at all the nymphs around go, that's new.
She's
He
shocked
dies
again.
Thumbs up from Telmo.
So, still horrified, Persis backs away.
Yep.
Kind of like puts a reassuring hand on Moby's shoulder as she
Jesus,
leaves him to deal with the problem.
What smutty book was he showing you?
I'll.
So I put you there. If that seemed that's about 30 feet
That's
away.
good,
Does it seem
yeah.
okay?
Yeah. I'll tell you about it if. I'm not sure I remember.
Very well. Well, I will avenge your eyes with my blade. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's right. I will. Can I? So, I'm sorry. Now that I'm kind of, I don't know, snapped out of kind of having a good sense of what I need to do, I will attack the.
Range attack? Yeah. Got it.
Yes, ranged.
Actually, I will move it there. And the lamp.
24.
It's going to hit.
That is 12 piercing.
She takes it.
And I don't have sneak attack.
No, not at this moment.
So I will that's all I'm gonna do right now.
All right, so the one will move. I forgot they have reach, so just will move up closer to you. The lone attack, Bart, and then the other two will attack Telmoon from where they stand.
What happened? I thought we was cool. I'm back within 10 feet of her.
That's
How
why
much
she-
reach you got?
That's why she said.
Golly.
That's why she said, like, why'd you? Because you went over and attacked her, her sister. But so the one that's you've hit is attacking first.
Okay.
I don't think 18 doesn't hit you, right?
No, 18 never hit me.
Yeah, of course it
Ever.
doesn't. So I know they'll probably need nat 20s to hit you, and then the other one
Possibly not.
will go. Actually, the other one will from range, kind of will use chill touch. Dirty 20. Nope. Okay, and then and those were legendary, so that's all. They just get one, and then we're at Bart.
Bart is running up, trying to help Telmu that he's surrounded.
You can get in the middle there if you want, or you can be like on the other side. I'll have to kind of push in, see where you're at.
DM volunteered to put them all in the mix. Get them, Bart.
Or do you want to be like somewhere else? So you rushed in, or are you just kind of rushing up to this one, right? Like, or you
rushing up to just that one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And with the accident, going to make a bunch of strikes. Does a 18 hit?
It does.
Okay, and so will a 22.
Yep.
Third strike, that's a 17.
Yep.
And the bonus action other hand attack will be another 22. So all 4 hit. And I'm gonna be rolling the dice. So piercing and radiant, I can add those up, right?
You can give me all the damage.
Okay. $47 points of damage as he does a few strikes with the accident, and then following up with a shield bash from Bulwark.
Nice. And so she's kind of quick to block the first couple, but there's those blades, your moves keep coming, you break through her defense, land those blows, she's pushed back, kind of shifts like smoke, reappears, and looks really shook at how much power is being displayed from both Bart and the rest of this group. She looks pretty, kind of huffing it.
That ends Bart's turn.
Nice. This happens. So the one here will move to Moby, and actually no, she'll move back and fire those kind of. She's swinging those blades, and like as she swings them, it's kind of like a sound wave, like a little carving in the sky that's made out of a bit of necrotic Nyx energy that kind of pushes through like a wave, and when it slams into you, does damage. So a 13 does not hit you, I know, so that's not going to hit. And she rolls again for a second one. Jeez, they're rolling terrible. That's not going to hit. So, Moby's just flipping off his feet. Like, as these things are smashing, he's not getting touched. The one that's standing in front of him will slash at Moby with that necrotic blade. 22, a little more like it. And a dirty 20. Do those hit? I have your AC as 21, so the dirty 20 doesn't hit. So I think the first one does, right, Eddie?
Eddie, you're muted?
Oh, you're muted, or you?
Sorry about that. Yep.
You're being attacked. Yes, okay. So I hit you for one. One of the blades hits you, so you'll take, let's see here, 18 points of necrotic damage. And then that ends 2 of their turns. The one that Telmoon and Bart have been really messing up, who's looking tough, will can't step away. Will attack with the blade to
she
not
can step away if that's what she wants to do.
I know. Will attack for 25 to hit I think Bart. And then
all right.
And then attacking again to Bart for 27. So those two will hit. So 2 necrotic blades. With necrotic, I'm just going to add them both up.
I actually take half on necrotic damage.
Okay. So you'll take 31 points. So we'll say 15.
15. Okay.
Yep. And that ends all of their turns, bringing us to Sophia.
Legendary reactions on the first battle in a dungeon crawl. Okay. Shit.
Don't worry.
Well, let me.
They only have at least 105 hit points. You're good to go.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So Sophia will use about 20, about half her speed to like get closer to the battlefield, just to get those demonic succubus bitches in the back. Yeah, that's fine.
You want to be this field of it, or more like over here?
Let's split up the clusterfuck. Let's go to the left over there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to Sacred Flame the furthest one.
Okay.
So it'd be like right in front of Sophia, further down.
Yep, I know.
But she is also going to use one of her meta magics and twin
That's
spell.
Telmoon's favorite that you're about to sacred.
And well, maybe makes sense into him. She's gonna say Sacred Flame that one and the one next to it. So I need both of them to make dex saves.
You got it.
Ooh. I
All
like
right.
it.
They have magic resistance.
Is that a feat or a dip?
As a feat.
Dope.
So first one got a 21. The second one
Fail.
got failed.
Yeah. DC was 22.
Okay.
So
Unless that wasn't no, that wasn't a nat 20. So yeah, failed.
both of them are going to take 12, 16, 19, 24 points of radiant damage.
Nice. Okay, 24. They both have taken it. So as they both get like that radiant sacred flame flies out, they try to block those blades, get blown off. They look haggard as well now.
That's her turn. Can't really use bonus actions right now.
Okay. Let's see here. As this is happening, you all hear this kind of like ruffling amongst the trees from above, high in these like large trees and these canopies of like beautiful like lavender, purple, pinkish blue, foliage, and out kind of burst these humanoid figures in a cluster, flapping their wings, very vibrantly colored as the harpies, and you start to hear them like singing this like song, carrying through all together like in a chorus. I need everyone within 300 feet to give me a wisdom save.
This sounds like the best time you've put.
This sounds like you're really wanting us to use resources right now.
I will say
Bring it.
the likelihood.
Oh, damn.
Passing. Welp.
Come on, dice.
I could.
Jump on the wisdom train.
It's not a bad roll. It's not. I don't know if it's good enough though.
What about Kai?
Wait, is this a? Does Fitz get advantage with this? Because if it's a charm effect?
Fitz does get advantage.
Thank God. Let's try.
What
Again.
does a 17 get me?
Gets you fail.
Fuck.
Sisters, help us. As these flock of
Fucking
harpies come flying in. Those are the nymphs calling out to the harpies.
right.
Let's see here. So, so did everyone pass? Or what do we get? So I heard fail from Bart. How about I know Fitz is probably going to be just fine.
I rolled a 16.
A 16? How did you get a 16?
I know.
No.
It was a wisdom save, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a plus
Oh
one.
yeah, it's a wisdom save, but it is being charmed. So you are charmed. As you kind of start to hear those whisperings of sweet nothings, this is unlike this charm feels different, where it doesn't feel as seductive. Is it just feels more like calming, and you all feel like almost like what are we doing? Why are we fighting? And anyone who has failed, it is 19 or up. Anyone who has failed that feels on your turn compelled to just march towards the direction of the songstress of the harpy choir.
Great.
But if you are attacked and if you take damage, you can make that save again. Did anyone pass? No. Okay. So Sophia's like, what are you
I
now
passed.
doing? Okay, tell Moon.
Sophia, Moby, and Kai all passed.
Nice. Okay, Kai. So Kai might will at the end of the let's see, depending on Fitz. So Fitz will end up walking towards it on her turn. The rest of them, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be. I'm going to choose some. So Kai, Apple, just kind of narratively makes sense, and we do have. She is pretty strong, so I also will choose the Archon, Zendali, and then with the other two, I'm gonna choose Sophia and Tell Moon to use Visage of Desire, and I'll roll for the other characters. Well, you can, Fitz, you can roll for Kai, but I need another Wisdom saving throw. This is a different Wisdom saving throw.
Is this flat, or because of the other charm? Do they have some sort of advantage or something?
It should be a disadvantage.
This
Because
new
that
save.
matters.
If you're already charmed, it's a disadvantage. If you're not charmed, so Kai passed, so Kai's not charmed, so Kai would not be a disadvantage, right? So,
Yeah. And Kai got a 24.
okay. So Kai's
27.
good. All right, 27. So you guys, I think, beat all of them. And then let's see what
That was
I
real
got.
close. That was 7 that time.
So
Better than a dirty 0.
Better than a dirty
the
0.
Archon Zendali's not okay. Apple's fine. Even though he's not really being taken, but he's I just wasted one of the abilities on him narratively as he's kind of shaking it off, and maybe it just has him fuzzy for a moment. But was there any fails?
Yep, Tell Moon.
Tell Moon, you the harpies that song is projecting this visions into your mind of you achieving your most wondrous and desires in life, and it causes you to kind of be stuck in your head. You're kind of like in your own inception, and so you will drop whatever you're holding and be paralyzed until the end of your next turn.
Oh, this is wild. All right. Does that include the shield? Shields aren't like carried; they're like through your arm, which is why it takes an action to put them on.
Because you put your hands down, you'd have to let go of you'd have to let go and go slack. So I imagine the shield would slide off and drop to the ground. I would say yes.
Okay.
Someone drops the shields. Damage wise, though, that ends their turns. Fitz, you are up. Then we go to the next round. Oh, so
I
you
technically got a 16
So you
if
will
you want
move.
her to have a turn.
So you will move towards the, because you're charmed, right? So you'd move
Yeah.
towards them. Moby, are you charmed?
I'm not charmed.
Fitz, you can also now make another. You can make another save to break free as you are like marching mindlessly like towards the beautiful music.
A 3. I'm marching. That's a great song.
Also, Kai's okay. So here's what we'll do. You can't influence Kai, so can you give me a D6 roll? I'm not using Kai's chart, but I'm going to use something a little different that kind of like to run Kai on my own because I don't know what Kai might do in this moment. She's watching Fitz just walk away.
Yeah. 2.
Okay. Okay. Kai starts to kind of like bark, like I just like at Fitz, like almost like, where are you going? What are you doing? Can I have a wisdom saving throw for Kai? I need a 15 and up.
Oh. It's a 4 on the die.
4
saving throw.
Plus whatever the wisdom. If it doesn't have a save, then it's just the wisdom stat.
Saving throw plus 10. That's a 14.
14. So Kai seems a bit weirded out. And you would think, of course, it's a very overconfident red dragon, but also still young and doesn't really have her ground on things. And so she takes off and just flies up into the sky and flies above the canopy and out of sight for this turn.
Okay.
Until Fitz gets control of herself.
Okay. Got it.
This starts, and so if it, to be fair, to kind of like to let you know, I'm not just taking Kai off the board because I'm being mean DM. I'm translating because I rolled on Kai's chart, and this is when Kai snaps out of it and she gets fearful and she flies away. It's that move.
Sense.
She's kind of like, I don't know what to do. So and maybe she's planning something, but so like until you get back, I have control of like what I think she's doing. So she just flies up into this guy. This starts us at Moby again. Moby, you're fine. So what do you do here?
I guess we're gonna have to just. Is it possible to determine who are they all singing at once?
They're all singing at once, kind of this very choral like, and then they were able to do that move where they're like kind of putting visions in a couple of your minds. So yeah, it's just imagine this kind of whole choral of harpies. You get the feeling like they're kind of trying to drop your anger and your defenses for the nymphs down below.
Okay. Shit. Is those two creatures there? Are they within 5 feet of each other?
They are.
In front of me?
They are.
All right.
Within 5 of each other. Do you need to be within 5? You're asking if they're within 5 feet of each other.
Correct.
They are slightly outside of 5 feet of each other. I'm sorry. You're within 5 feet of one. The other one is like 10 feet away from the other one.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna attack the one in front of me.
Okay. Ranged, or how are you doing it? What are you doing?
No.
Rapier?
I'm coming in with my short sword.
Tell them what's got the rapier.
17.
That's gonna hit.
Oh, great. That's an 8 damage. Strike again. It's 31.
31 damage.
31 to hit,
Okay, 31. Yeah.
and then 11 damage.
Okay. She's looking kind of getting slashed, pieces of their hair kind of being chopped off, parts of the body open up, but no blood coming out, just like this spillage of like Nick's like energy. They all look kind of bloodied and pretty beat up here.
I'm going to also then end by transitioning to my ghost walk into spectral form.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
The one that you just attacked will strike back at you with the legendary. 27 doing 15 points of necrotic damage. And the others will hold. Telmoon is up.
Telmoon is imagining the having his picture up on the wall in the tent in Bardstock Hall of Fame next to Mama. It's a beautiful thing. I can't, sir. Stop that. Stop that nonsense.
You can't move?
You can't paralyze me.
Oh yeah, you're
and move
paralyzed.
me.
You're paralyzed. I'm sorry.
Stop it. Don't try to eat me. Tired of it.
My bad. I forgot you're paralyzed. That's what the ring was supposed to remind me of.
No, so that's Telmoon. That's
Okay.
Telmoon dreaming. California dreaming.
You can try to break free if you want.
I gotta roll a nat 20 to break free. I don't like this is happening.
It's worth a try.
It's an 8.
Okay.
It's an 8.
As the one in front of Bart will attack Bart with that necrotic blade. 25. Doing 16 points of necrotic damage to Bart.
So each time I take damage, do I make a wisdom save?
You do.
Okay. So I reduce the necrotic damage, and I will roll natural 1.
Okay. So you're still stuck in that. We move to Persis.
Still on
Persis.
Sophia, it won't be a problem.
Persis was charmed, so
Yeah, so Persis will move.
Yeah, she's been on like a huge emotional roller coaster. She went from that shocked to angry, shocked that she'd exterminated a dude, and now is like looking up with a blissed out expression, walking forward, like tripping slightly because she's looking up at the harpies, and it's like, Moby, I think they have the book.
With the legendary, the one will meet you and kind of
Okay.
just hold.
Persis, there's no books. Snap out of it.
But you see her holding the book, the gift, like opening the book. This, so that's his legendary. C moves up. Persis moves. Bart, you are up.
Can I make the save?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I don't know that I can. Oh, wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
24.
Okay. So suddenly, like, as Moby is screaming, like, there is no book, you see it disappear, and you see that she's just walking towards you with the blades, like, out, like, as they're, like, to stab you with them.
Yeah.
Bart, you're up. Are you?
I hear the call of glory as he hears the sound of triumphant calls of victory as he's slowly moving forward. He's still charmed.
Yep. So he will move towards the harpies. He will get. She will take reaction and strike him for 27 to hit, doing. She only did 8 points of necrotic damage, and he does get another opportunity to break free as she slashes him in the back. She's surprised at how quickly he moves and gets kind of like catches most armor on that swing.
Okay, so 8 reduced to 4.
Okay.
And one more save there. I got an 18.
Oh my gosh.
And end of my turn, I roll again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.
Right.
So good, fellas. Rolling so good.
The nymphs will attack the one. So Sophia, you are not charmed. Moby is not charmed. They move in on Moby and make all attacks on Moby. Those are, no, so far 18 doesn't do it. So one of them tried to hit twice, doesn't do it. As actually should have advantage on Moby because he's paralyzed. So yeah, so that will hit. The second one, that will hit for
Are they attacking Moby or Telmoon?
Moby, because Telmoon's paralyzed. So, and then the one more, they have advantage on these strikes, which is why it sounds like so many. And I don't think.
Just charm now.
Don't 19 doesn't hit you, or does it hit you, Moby? No. So yeah, so you got hit twice by 2. They got scored 3 attacks.
I do have Ghost Walk, so they would have disadvantage. Attack rolls would be a disadvantage against me.
Okay, then that means they would be straight rolls. So that means the rolls that I hit, then I'll re-roll them then, since I rolled them with advantage.
Yep, that sounds good.
So 1 miss, 2, 25 hit. Okay, so you only got 1 that hit you for 14 points of necrotic damage. Should have went after Sophia. Why did that? Sophia, you're up.
Okay. Seems like all the nymphs are over here now. Are the sirens like right above them?
Mm-hmm. Like if you're trying to get them like in a, they're about there, so that's about above them would be, they're like hovering above them,
Like
40,
directly
40,
above
40
them?
feet up. They're like at a slight angle, but if you had something that had a radius effect, where there's a spherical effect, depending on how big it is, right? So they're technically like they're above them, but like 10 to 15 feet away from them, like recessed into the background, but kind of curving like around. So actually this might be a better look for, I can show you by going to overhead. If I can find it. Bird's eye. And then cutting off. There you go. Oh no, yeah, you can't. It's so hard to. So they're like, you see where where the
Glasses,
where the glass is really where they are, and that's about 10 feet away, but it's still above them, it's just at a slight angle. I'm trying to see it. It's almost like if there was like a invisible theater, they're like right there in those like pews above them.
Well, shit. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm still gonna do it. I was just hoping to get maximum effect out of it. Where the fuck is it?
If it helps, I always count my
Dex
harpies
save.
as one unit, a flock of, so all damage is gonna do to all of them.
So I am going to be
It's
casting
like a swarm effect when you attack them.
5th level flame strike
Okay.
on the nymphs. It's
Okay.
a 10-foot cylinder, so I don't know if that actually gets any of the harpies.
10-foot cylinder. So it only goes up 10 feet. Yeah, that wouldn't hit them.
The vertical column of divine roaring flame.
So it
blah,
comes
blah,
out of the
blah.
ground, spherical, it goes up 10 feet.
10-foot radius, 40 foot high.
40 foot high. Okay.
Yeah.
If you put it like, right here.
A bitch. I did not want to cast a spell.
Here's what I'll say. Give me an Arcana DC 10. 10 or up,
Oh.
I'll give you the harpies in there.
That is very generous of you, sir. Okay, that's a 16
Okay. So yeah, you can put the harpies in there.
with my +1. So I need all of them to make dex save 22 or take 8d6. Well, half as much on a
Fail.
success.
Fail. These are all going to be fails unless they get nat 20s. Fail. And then the harpies probably have a slightly better shot. They do get advantage on resistance to magic. So harpies get a 21, so they take half. Right? And then the
DC's 22.
I do get magic resistance, so I do need to redo the nymphs, even though they're all probably still going to fail, but not going to do it. 13, 19, not going to do it, and a natural 20 on one of the nymphs. So like kind of like the maybe the head one got a 23. So only one. So both nymphs got hit. The harpies saved, but I'm sure take half. So one of the nymphs takes half, and the other two take full.
Yeah, so the damage is 20 fire and 20 radiant.
So 40 total damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know if they were resistant or not.
Nope. Not to. They resistant to fire. Actually, they are, but it's not going to make a huge difference because of how low they are. It will make the resistance for the one that's saved. Taking
Well,
so
fuck
the
you up,
fire
Jason.
2010 for the fire, and then so 30 total. And then the harpies I don't see being resistant. How much damage? 40. Okay, so harpies are gonna take 40 across the board. So you see a bunch of the harpies' wings, boom, light up on fire. As many of them start to like scatter and scream as two of the nymphs burst into radiant light and flame. And
Was one of
scream.
them Telmoon's favorite?
Telmoon's favorite is the one that's is holding on right now.
Hell yeah. Extra thick.
Sophia makes her way up towards her. Like, fuck this.
All right. You got
That's her
something
turn.
else? All right. As this happens, that ends the harpies. They like the singing that was going off goes from like oh to just like like squawking pigeons, and like burning and feathers like falling down, and then they just fucking take off. They fly away up into the canopies, trying to get away, trying to get out of here. And as they do, funny thing, this would be so as they're flying away, scattering, one of them just gets snatched by Kai, flying over the top, and like Jurassic Park style, like you watch her body kind of like fold in half and break as she swallows or the gulp. The rest of them fly away. They don't want to have anything. Those survivors want to have nothing to do with this. This leaves Fitz.
If they flew away,
They
does
flew
that
away.
mean I'm not
So you're not
charmed
charmed
anymore?
anywhere. Your charm falls. Everyone's charm falls, unless you were charmed by a nymph. The last nymph is like, even within the seconds that are happening as Sophia is kind of marching towards her, like drops the blades, and the blades turn into like kind of like go back into her hair, and she's just like, "Hey,
Is there?
you
There's
attacked
only
first."
one left?
Yeah. I was actually having fun with you. It wasn't even gonna. It didn't have to be like that. I liked my little fellow. Talking to Sophia, but okay, so yeah. But yeah, you're hearing all this. You're right there, Fitz. Do what you.
She looks pretty rough, right?
Yeah, he's not looking good.
I am going to bonus action Hunter's Mark for an extra d6.
Okay, Telmoon is no longer paralyzed. So Telmoon, you're coming to just as you look up. Your girl's like trying to look in your direction.
Gonna take a sharpshooter shot with the bow of Nylea.
Okay. Notches that bow.
It's like sharpshooter. It's wild.
I've had sharpshooter for a really long time. I just never used the bow.
Oh man, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Hold on, I rolled an 18, and there's a plus 12 to hit.
Yeah, you hit.
But I take a -5 for the sharpshooter.
Okay. And what does that leave you?
Does that
I'm so
still
terrible
hit?
at
I
math.
don't know. I have
25?
to
Still
do math.
hits. Still
25
hits.
still hits.
Jeez.
Okay.
Some of the ladies in our party really just do not like this one. I don't know what got them so riled up.
Stop fucking with my friends. We just got here. You don't even know each other. Sorry, I have never really done this. +6, +10. It's 1d6 +8 with the bow. Eight +4 +10 for sharpshooter. 28 points of damage.
Where do you place it? Where do you hit her?
I want it to just go right through an eye.
Her head snaps back, and you get the feeling like her hand is up, but like she's slowly like maybe going to like grab like her blade and like lunge toward Fitz as it slams into her face. Her head snaps back and she just kind of drops, and she's like body shakes a bit on the ground, and she begins to like dematerialize into stars. And then she just says, her last words are, Erebos will find you. And she's gone. And we'll take a 5-minute break as you all have cleared the baddies from the board in all
That
forms.
is how I put them in initiative order on my notes. Baddie
Really?
one,
You call them
baddie
baddie
two.
one? Oh, baddies in multiple ways.
Exactly.
I love it. Good stuff. Yeah, we'll get right back to it. But yeah, combat is over. And then so Kai hasn't come back, but you can hear Kai circling over,
Okay.
like circling over. You know Kai is
down
close
here.
by.
It's a single tier, but we'll pick up his weapon and his armor and his shield.
All right, be right back.
Yeah.
Those wisdom saves seem to be a problem for the majority of our party.
Yeah, I'm a +1.
Best fucking get resilient if you can still do it. I don't know.
Nope.
We're gonna be doing that a lot.
I took resilient dex. I think. Yeah, I did.
What, weren't we gonna have lots of heroes feast? Wasn't that the plan?
It was, but I never got
It was
a
until
chance.
Sophia started wasting spell
I
slots out
swear
here.
to
Hey,
God, I will fuck you up, Jason.
Mikey, you're welcome anytime.
Anytime Telmoon gets any form of fucking like enjoyment down here, Sophia's shutting it down. It's gonna be like a whole person. I don't give a shit. I know it's a dungeon crawl, but it's worth it.
That's part of why I just used the bow as a bow.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like, at least I have that function.
I mean, the
It feels
issue.
so wimpy
I'm not
compared to spells,
Yeah.
though.
Our issue is unfortunately Bart is just absolutely
Shit out of luck.
Yeah, we can't do anything to heal. Bart can only be picked up on short rests then when they're dying. We don't have the resources to just heal Bart back to full.
I could duplicate a spell and do the mansion. And let us get a long rest if we needed to.
Didn't we just wake up and get here? How long have we
We
been
did just
walking?
wake up and get here. But what I'm saying is we're not stuck in like a we have nowhere to rest.
Oh no, yeah. As long as you save that one spell slot, we'll have a spot to sleep. It's
Yeah.
more just we got to move for the rest of the day, but we can't really. I guess we could if we just go real slow.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
And if something crazy happened, like we could. I have some lower level healing spells. I'm no Sophia, but
What? What you mean?
Yeah.
Sophia has been
I gotta cure wounds.
irrelevant.
She does heal.
I'm just gonna
can mass
cast
heal us.
Bless on everybody. That way you got a D4 and there's a little bit better chance for you all to fucking save against wisdom.
Wish is so
Actually,
much
that
better.
would be nice.
Wish is just the best
Usually-
healing spell.
Hmm?
Wish is just. the
Wish
best
is
healing
like an
spell.
overkill healing spell.
Yeah, that I don't. Yeah.
Just use the
It
heal.
can
Man.
alter the fabric of reality. I'm using it to heal.
Sophia just.
Granted,
used
the heal was amazing and we needed
The
it
hill
at the
was
time.
amazing
But
and
if-
it was necessary. I don't feel like it helped. I feel like we equally got our ass kicked. we came back like we got this, and a round later we was like, we
And
do
then it was
not
like,
got
boom,
this.
meow, meow, meow. Oh man.
I also just like tell Mal's the first DM I've ever heard was say that character's paralyzed, so they're not attacking. I was like, what? It's all good. It's funny too
Theros.
because every swing at Bart would have hit Telmoon. It was just the swings of Telmoon that were low. I was just like, I am safe. Thank you,
The
Bart.
dice gods smile upon you.
Thank you, Bart, for taking those hits for me, buddy.
I'm so bummed because I got these pretty new dice, and I was like, "Ooh, I will use them. They will save me in hell." And no, they're rolling.
They're not
like
saving
shit.
you in hell.
No.
I definitely
pretty
just
for
pulled
hell.
out. I pulled out one of my luckier D20s. I was like, "There's zero chance of me passing this wisdom saving throw using online die."
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
so I'm
that
completely
that
switching up
same
my plan.
one that I used to. You remember when I was at the bar when I was doing the put it on a slant and roll?
Yeah.
I
and it
pulled
just
that DM.
always-
I pulled that die out.
That's my bad, Jason. Yeah, you gotta call me out if I skipped your turn on
No,
paralyzed.
yeah, no, you good.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying you're the first DM that doesn't that I still not take advantage of the one character they have paralyzed and just be like, let's kill that guy.
Because your AC's still stupid high.
It's only a 22 when I'm paralyzed. When I
I'm
don't have a.
stupid high.
What are you now?
Wasn't it lower? Wasn't it like a 20 because he didn't have
Oh,
the
it's
shield?
20 because he doesn't have a shield.
I'm
so
at
yeah.
a 24 with ancestral guidance. So
Okay.
without the shield, it goes down to
You-
22,
I see.
and that means I can't shield up to 27. if
Also, I
don't-
think they actually
paralyzed?
did like Telmoon.
they like Telmoon. Telmoon
y'all
put that
just started
work
to
in.
fight.
Listen, this ain't the fucking Vale, alright? This is the underworld. Nothing here likes you for you. You're a life
Nothing in
source.
the Veil
You're a
likes
meal.
Telmoon for Telmoon. It's all transactional, and we accept that way of life.
There's no transaction here. It's just death.
By the way, Bart really did not get messed up. He is only missing 5 hit points.
Nice.
How the fuck are you only missing 5 hit points?
22 from the temporary that Fitz gave us.
Oh, got it.
And yeah,
So you're saying that you got fucked up, but it just happened to be soaked by temporary hit points. Because
Yeah.
that
And
means
so
you still
here's
lost
the thing
29
about- I've been hearing
points.
you guys talk about this Columns of Dungeon, and yes, very much so. It is like this is not the normal material plane, and so, you can still go for a long rest. See, what I was saying is that it's just going to be more dangerous to try to go for an extended period of time and like nothing happens, right? It's much more likely that shit pops off, but there is still an opportunity for you to go for a long rest.
Oh yeah, it's just that we're very much used to 1 to 2 fights a day max, and
Yeah.
that's probably not going to be a 1 to 2 fight per 24 hours type of region.
Right. Fair
Yeah.
enough. So yeah, just let
So
me know.
we want to not be like Sophia and save our resources.
I'm so gonna stop you from sacrificing yourself for your fucking god. Read that scroll. I fucking dare you, because you're gonna be held and you're gonna be frozen, paralyzed for an hour.
But we're not just gonna resurrect Clovis.
Why would we resurrect Clovis?
So she can
I would-
steal the. So she can steal the the Titans back.
I feel
You
like
can't steal him back.
the reaction from all of us when we found out that Clothis was dead was just like, oh no.
Yeah, like,
Shit.
there's no, but yeah, no one has.
Yeah.
Well, when there's fucking secretive as much as
Well,
the god of
yeah,
secret.
I don't think anybody would really care. I think the ramifications for Clothis being dead means that there are like the strings that literally the strands of fate and destiny that the gods used to pull and kind of know where certain paths were branching. They don't exist. So it truly is whatever you all do. It's all being made up. There's no one that has the foresight of knowing how this is going to end.
Oh yeah. No more augury. No more portent rolls. I guess that affects Sophia, right? No more augury, since you were using your spell slots for augury all the time. Because the answer is not either always wheel and woe or woe. Those are the only options. There's no.
I think
there's
you can
no just
still
wheel.
use it where where the gods might be able to say what, but they'd be
I mean,
saying
I
what they
might be
think.
able to use it down here.
Yeah.
Atheros be like, yo, don't go that direction. It's
Yeah,
bad.
I think there's still things where gods could tell you, yeah, that's not a good idea, right? It's like it was more so that, like, for example, the prophets, the oracles who were constantly seeing those people who fortune tell the future. Those kind of abilities are just kind of gone. The abilities that you have from the gods have stayed. Those kind of, especially since the silence is no more, which your abilities never left you in the first place. But yeah, so it's just it really is up to the champions and up to chance now. It's the interference of the gods. They can only do so much. They only know so much because now Krufix is for the first time ever kind of in the dark. Yeah. So as you think we have everybody back, okay. As adrenaline comes down, not the toughest fight for the Bronze Bullies, but definitely people are a bit shaken up from the mind games and the charms and the magic being played in their head and minds. I imagine that always leaves your head probably a little foggy and muddled for a moment. But I think one thing is clear as Persis, as you start to clear things up, is that for some reason the gentleman, the abs, laden Adonis, he clearly who showed you the book, while you do remember him being kind of him being wooed by the nymphs early on, but then him also succumbing, him also bringing you in, and you realize when you felt that surge of energy, that life force leave your body, it actually, you now can kind of see it clearly that it wasn't him who did it. Maybe you were being touched by one of the others who was close by, but he clearly wasn't a nymph, but also someone like you. And now Persis knows, she disintegrated him. I'll turn over to you all to kind of figure out as things come down what you all are saying, doing in this moment.
That wasn't quite as fun as I hoped it would be.
Can we all agree just not to mention this? Ever.
I make no such promise.
You have my word. Also, as Bartholomew points to the sky and we can see the the image of a dragon flying above. You might want to call her back.
I think she heard you.
Nice touch.
She kind of shakes off, and you see like there's like feathers like in her like jowls. She's got she's like spitting them out, these like multicolored feathers. And then she like picks, and then there's like a hand that like comes out of her tooth, flies and hits the wall. Not actually, harpies don't have hands, but like a chicken foot.
Oh, well done.
She looks around, and then she like goes over in the corner and kind of curls up like a cat, slumps down, starts sleeping.
I don't know
Okay.
if that's going to be like all the other encounters we have, but we might expect to see the souls of the dead manipulated against us. Maybe
Oh.
just regular people.
Which means
Are you saying we probably shouldn't just murder everything we come across?
I mean, what happens if you die in the underworld?
And they just disappeared into stars. Do you think that's what happened?
Apple says, well, I've seen what happens to others. You don't really ever die. You come back, you rematerialize so that the atrocities of the world can happen to you all over again. So I imagine that those harpies will be back at it in another 24 to 48 hours, and those nymphs will probably journey back to their master somewhere deeper in the underworld. But those who die too many times... Now, first of all, this is what Apple knows from from what he's seen also being down here. Those who are... Remember, I am speaking about spirits. If we all die... Again, well, if you all die, you will be relegated to the underworld, and there will be no leaving. You will be stuck. And who knows if your spirits will be pushed away or relegated to other parts of the underworld. So we should be very concerned. On one hand, if we die, we're already where we were meant to go, but it means a whole new hassle, a whole new problem if we do die here. Well, if you all die here. If I die again, I'll wake up tomorrow, but I may not be with you all again, and I'd have to work my way back to you. The stone faces, those are souls who died, came here, and died so many times that they are now Misera. They literally become part of the underworld, crying out daily for those to trample upon, seeking their own way. You definitely don't want to become Misera. Should we move on?
I'm all for it.
is that worm thing still around here?
Apple sniffs. To be honest, I haven't been good at catching its scent. It has surprised me a few times. I don't know. But I do know it is... Tamoon, can I have a insight check?
All wisdom-based rolls today. That's a 0.
Damn. I was what y'all get when y'all build these characters. They're just so good at other stuff. They just like have a bunch of dumb stuff. See, it's not my fault.
I mean, that's also my fourth not one of the night. So
yeah, he just says, that thing surprises me. It comes at random times, at random hours. I don't feel the same tired as you all do, though I do still get weary here. I understand if we need to take even a short rest. I wonder... But yes, I'll leave it up to you all. What do we do next?
Shall we consult the map? Sophia, you still have it?
Great plan.
Actually, Sophia, where the fuck did you put it?
mechanically, Tomoon would not object to a short rest, but we don't need one.
She's going to hold up the lantern and see which direction Zen is.
Okay. As she does this, she notices that the sun is rapidly setting. The forest starts to grow dark.
There's a sun in here?
Or just the atmosphere of that kind of twilight atmosphere drops into like a dark gloom. Because Alicia, things here. The funny thing is, there normally is like a perpetual twilight, but here it's gotten like, at least the forest, it's still like, it's not fully night, but the forest is responding as such, right? The atmosphere around you. As Sophia holds up that lantern, it glows brighter, going north and off away from the forest in the direction on the horizon line. This great expanse that you can kind of see from where there is like ruins of what looks like could have been an old city or polis. And then there's, even at the distance, you can see that the ground is like sunken in. Like you can see that great hole even from where you are. That's where it is pointing.
We have to find a safe route, pathway, whatever we have to do. That direction. So Apo, you've been here the longest. Can you help me traverse this and take the lead a little bit until I get my bearings?
Of course. Gladly. Are you handing the lantern to Apo?
No.
No. Okay.
That's a big no.
Okay, just making sure.
No, she's just going to have Apo by her side. And
okay, and they're just, yeah.
She is going to, like, grill him for information of what's going on down here. Like, things that she thinks she needs to know about the underworld. She only knows so much.
Will we set off now? Will we walk and talk?
Looking at everyone doesn't seem too hurt. I think we should make our way.
Okay. So as you all carry on, right? Maybe like as you're talking and walking about 10 to 15 minutes later, from deep within the forest, you hear like like the trees move and the ground kind of trembles. You hear this kind of rumble when a bunch of like birds startle and fly away. and the ground shakes for a second. You look back. You don't see anything, and you continue on, unless you do something else. But Apples says it's definitely still close by. Morthax, the worm, the soul eater. But you were saying, Sophia, what were you asking me?
This worm, that's its only job is to eat souls?
Well, I haven't been here long enough to understand this world very much, Sophia, but this worm seems to eat those wandered, those lost souls. Who knows what it does after it eats them, but I seem to have captured its sire. It is, I don't know if I smell good or in my scent what it is. I don't wear any cologne, but it seems to show up wherever I go. Now that I'm with you all, I have a mind to just stand here and face it. We could all take it together. I say we go back into that forest and kill it. I mean, we're the Bronze Bullies. When have we ever lost back to a challenge?
A lot has changed since your quick departure.
Would something like that come back after we would slay it?
It's a good question. I don't know. Not a clue. But I do know things that do come back, they don't come back quick. So at least buy us some time.
The people whose souls it's consumed, have any of them ever come back?
Anyone I've seen it eat, I've never seen again. Again, I haven't been here as long as other souls. Just say I have a feeling they don't.
Which
Being
means
eaten
they'd
by
be
that thing.
inside.
Maybe. Ooh, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. He continues to walk. So Persis, why'd you kill that dude? He look too good? What?
I didn't understand things quick enough. I thought he was the one who was doing that to me.
It's fine. You'll get used to it. You know, you rip off one or two hands, you feel bad. You do it the 20th time, you get over it. He deserved it. Nobody should look like that. Let's go. Pats her on the back. And they march on. Is any of the other Bronze Police doing? But as that kind of time is going, let me make a roll here. You have a perception check from everyone. Who has the highest passive, actually?
Should be Sophia.
It should be, but could be anyone, honestly. I got a
I have
21.
a 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're the winner.
It's my one stat that's not garbage.
Kai,
That's only
where's
a 15.
Kai at?
So, with the 13, you're kind of just walking along. The wind kind of blows a bit. It's a little chilly. It's that weird, like the sun just stopped on the horizon. It's like almost like twilight. Like you can see stars, you can see the Nyx. But it's not completely night. And you find yourself within an hour standing trying to find my at this great expanse, too huge to even almost imagine, like, you know, the size of like the Grand Canyon is, kind of like to put it in perspective, where you're suddenly standing at this canyon-sized gaping opening in the landscape, and at the edges are the remnants and ruins of a great palace, and then you hear the map kind of whisper, "This was the great citadel where those champions gathered to play games, to challenge each other. It was a central place where those who were good in life, and not just champions, but even those who followed champions, and it is no more. It is down there." And you can see that canyon. If you're, you know, you can't see the bottom of the canyon. It's just, it drops down 200, 300, 400 feet into, that's as far as you can see, and then it is darkness. At least 200 feet below you, on the side of the canyon that you're standing in the kind of like dark setting, casting many shadows as the wind kind of briskly blows by, you do see that the sides of the canyon have many foot and handholds, natural, you know, that you could start to climb down. There's many areas where you could, you know, tie off or use pythons to naturally, you know, descend. Or if you have magic or you can fly, that's enough. But you know that it's almost 250 feet to the next landing, right? Like, there's like a landing. And when I say landings, like, imagine there are like along your side of the canyon, you know, there are different little ledges. And there's a large ledge that you can see about 200 feet down that is a huge cavern ledge where it looks like as everything crumbled down, on that ledge, you can also see what appears to be like a ruined piece of the palace that was underground, that's kind of built into the ground area, that has an opening and has a door. That's what you see right now. What are you all thinking?
What does being half goat do for Fitz in Talmud?
Absolutely nothing. Actually, I won't say it takes anything away, but I won't say it's gonna add anything to your struggles. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I mean, if you fall, maybe I see the goat fall. We all seen that video where that goat tumbles down that mountain. Maybe you guys got some kind of crazy goat resistance to falling. But,
just walks it off.
That shit's crazy.
You're just gonna mirthful leap down 250 feet.
Okay.
The DA will help.
God.
I mean, honestly,
Polymorph into a goldfish on the way down. It'll be fun.
Legend Keeper had kind of imagery to kind of show what this place kind of looks like, and it's like not showing it right now, or at least on my side, it looks like the images are broken. So I don't know what happened there.
What are you trying to look at? Is it in?
It was in Legend Keeper.
Alicia?
In Alicia.
Yeah, I don't see anything for Alicia.
Yeah, they're like suddenly gone. So if I find them, I'll share them into the OBS at some point. I'm working on that, putting some in. But otherwise, you know, hours gone by, you all can continue role playing and decide, how is this where you want to be? Is descending into the earth? Yeah, of course, this is where the rest of the Bronze Bullies may have been, right, when they were cast into the underworld. Those who had fallen.
I mean, how do we
leave Taroxys on the boat?
You did.
Yeah, we did.
Can we bring him just so that he can ferry us down and then send him back?
You could. So you mean so he could like fly you down?
Am I small enough for new angel friend? New angel friend can carry me. Kai's not carrying me. Fuck Kai.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, we've got. Do you think that if we left Taroxys behind, he would give the wings to one of us?
I'm okay with that. What
Does anyone
I
have
like
an
to play
open
this
slot
kind of
to
like
use
how we
those
play.
wings?
What's
do.
that game that Richard runs? It's
And
almost like
so
I'll give
does
y'all a
Moby.
little. I'll give y'all a number of like flashback points, you know, like we did this
He's like,
in the
"Good
past.
job.
Yeah.
You will need these. Use them well."
Yeah, Telenovela has one thing he's attuned to. But it might help us if there's a stronger person. As opposed to
I don't
just
know.
Bart is pretty strong.
and you're only attuned to 2 items?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Get it.
because he's a champion, he gets a bonus to any. Oh no, it doesn't count because he already has proficiency. But yeah, he has a +10 in athletics. That helps.
Damn.
Brutal.
That helps you not fall while climbing. Normally, is what it helps.
Yeah,
More just I was wondering about carrying capacity.
carrying capacity is
And I
You'd be
can
the best
also either upcast or twin spell fly
Interesting.
if we want people to fly down. I was debating, like, does it make sense to put it on the heaviest person or the strongest person? Because I think probably having Sophia fly down instead of someone carrying her might be better.
Can I have perception checks from everyone?
Ooh.
Wait.
yeah.
Hey, it's not a 1.
Oh.
21.
It's a 22.
Okay.
21.
12.
29.
For you too, Sophia.
Okay.
19.
Wisdom base. Fuck off.
15 or above, you're reminded of and see that even in the night sky, those around this area, not necessarily directly above you, so there's a thin chance that you could make it by. But similar to what you even saw, similar to what you saw Kai do to the harpies, it makes you think of that when you look up at the sky and realize reeling overhead like vultures are these large creatures. Manticores, griffins, fighting each other in the sky, splitting off, wheeling into the dark clouds above. There's always a chance that one of them catches sight of you, and goes diving for an attack. That's if you go the flying route, where maybe you look like
Anyone
buzzing
make us
flies or
super
across the canyon.
stealthy, and we could just zoom away from here.
Stealthy, this party?
Yeah.
Nope, Talmud puts full faith in Bart. He's gonna go ahead and reverse backpack.
Fitz is gonna ask Kai if she can ride on Kai's back. You take me down?
Well, that's kind of the scene. And this is the structure you see like that 250 feet down below.
That looks pretty stinking cool. Let's check that out.
Feels like there's a nice little convenient stairwell there, sir.
Yeah,
that's
it's like it's
250. That's
beckoning
250
us.
foot down, though.
Down though. That's
Yeah.
down in the cavern.
Yep.
Yeah, that's below where you all are on the edge up here somewhere, peering down into there. Above you in the sky and those dark clouds, you got those creatures in the distance, these weird like tornadoes and vortexes. It almost feels like it's beautiful, and the farther you look off into the expanse, the darker it becomes, right?
So, do we decide if
Almost as though
we should
Erebos
to-
is slowly reclaiming Elysia, from the outside in.
Mhm. Did we want to give the wings to Sophia because she's going to have a hard time with traversing?
I mean, I wouldn't have reverse backed onto Bart if Bart's not wearing the wings. But you know what? We'll do it for fun. But if Sophia's gonna have the wings, then
I mean, she has one open slot left for a magic item.
I'll be Sophia.
And I have unique build, so I can carry more technically.
So you'll carry your boy. You'll hop off Bart and walk over to Sophia. Hands up.
I don't get a lot of like the tail hitting you.
Oh, I'm riding on the horse.
Yeah.
Okay. No backpack.
No. You ain't fucking with her hair.
Right, tell Google. I can reverse backpack. Reverse backpack still efficient.
Moby's fine, right? He has that glide.
So what are we doing again?
Moby's
Yeah, I'm-
glide takes him horizontally, but yeah, he can go
Oh,
ahead
yeah.
and do
I can
that.
glide and I'm in spectral form, which allows me to fly.
I'll allow once he's got the ways allowed, and he can pull it off, and try to glide. Use that.
No.
Yeah.
Like, it is not flying. That is a hang glider. So don't
Yeah,
get
he's
enough
hang
drift.
glide. Yeah, so he's got a.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I'm in spectral form.
Yeah,
I
so
should-
second form you can fly. Yeah.
I'm good. For at
Oh
least
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. So but you had the special roll since the fight. We've moved. It's been an hour since then. Do you still have it up? Or can you?
Yeah.
So when you
No, it's only
when you
up
put
for
it up,
10
does it take a spell slot or anything, or does it take? Or certain you can do a turn 24
yeah,
hours.
I need a
like,
long rest.
long
or
rest.
use
So
one of my
you-
trinkets
Yeah,
to
so
get-
I don't know. You'd have to. What if you need to use something to make it happen again? You can, but remember, it's just been an hour since that last fight,
Got it.
and that hour has not been a short rest. It's been a march. You all have been moving.
I should
So
have.
Moby only has the hang glider right now.
Yeah,
I can.
which I would give him
Um,
like basically a advantage acrobatics check for that.
I can use this again. So long rest, destroy one of my soul trinkets as part of the bonus action you use to activate. Okay, so I can just use one of my soul trinkets and
And that allows you. Okay.
do it again. So I have 2 soul trinkets now.
Okay.
I use that, and we'll ghost walk again for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Is Persis going to be using fly?
Yeah.
that-
So the Persis would approach Bart. And be like, do you want to just fly down?
I think that would work. I could climb, but if I'm going to take longer than the rest of you, that might not be good.
Right. Yeah. I actually think I could climb down myself, but let's stay with them. And yeah, she reaches over, one hand on herself, one on you, and you feel buoyed. You can now float around and fly.
So
Feels-
does everyone have flying
Oh.
essentially right now? Am I missing?
So,
I have to persuade
2 of us
Pat.
are being carried. Yeah.
Okay, 2 being carried. Okay. So what I am gonna ask for then is if whatever you have that it can automatically fly, and there's no check that really needs to be made. For example, like Fitz doesn't need to make a check for flying, where the spell cast by Persis doesn't need to make a check. Once the spells, you will still have to make a stealth check, to get to the bottom.
Got this, Sophia.
Sophia's the stealthiest.
Anyone using any type of flight will have to make a stealth check. And then Moby will have to make an acrobatics check and a stealth check.
I'm just being carried.
I
trust you,
I have a
Sophia.
disadvantage with the stealth check. Let's go.
Same here. What's up?
Well, are you being carried? No,
No.
Moby's,
I'm just
Moby's
flying.
flying.
Moby's flying. But no, how is Bart getting down there?
Or sorry,
fly was
Proximus.
cast
Or
on him.
sorry, Bart's flying. Yeah.
Bart's flying.
Bart's
Okay, so then
flying, yeah.
Bart would need to make that
Yeah.
stealth check.
And Persis is going to see you struggling and restore balance. So you make it at just a regular roll.
Bless you.
Oh,
Fine.
I'm so pissed off right now.
Why?
I just rolled a natural 20 and I have disadvantage.
I'm so sorry.
Fucker.
No, here's the thing. You have disadvantage, of course, on stealth because you're like a horse person, right? But you're flying. So are you being carried?
No,
No,
I'm
you're
Tell,
flying.
he's carrying Telmoon though.
He's carrying Telmoon. Okay, so then that makes sense. Yeah, it's your first time galloping across the sky.
She's doing really well, and Telmoon just reaches up and pulls the hair. Giddy up.
Well, what's funny is the first time Sophia was, introduced to the party, they cast Fly on her. I'm not a big technology fan, apparently. That's a 5.
I really appreciate Perseus's help. I'm sorry, I rolled a 2. So that's an 8.
You rolled a 2 at advantage? Or
It was just a normal
sorry,
roll.
2 a roll straight roll. Got it.
Yeah.
You chose the wrong one.
I
got a nat
chose
20
the
out
wrong.
of it.
What was the other one going to be? An 11. It would have been a 17.
So Bart got a low roll. Sophia. Everyone else, let's see.
I was at a 20.
20. Okay, that's really good.
It's got a 25.
Okay. And then you already tried to I don't think Kai's gonna push back against going down.
Okay.
Yeah, no pushback. So you all go kind of taking off, flying, and it's Bart and Sophia who are kind of struggling a bit in that moment. The wings kind of making that noise that them kind of trying to get their place. And as you all are kind of going towards that step or that landing, getting ever so close, Sophia, you look up, and Bart, you look up, and you do see one of those creatures diving down, coming towards you. It's a fairly large manticore, like screaming out as you are getting very close to kind of making kind of your landing there. Can I get you're flying, so acrobatics check from both of you.
Great.
You are just wanting to kill us tonight.
I believe in Sophia.
Don't believe too fucking hard.
Ah.
That's a 15.
Okay.
I got a 13. You did better than me.
I got a +2. That's it.
I have a +8, man.
Damn! Come on, Nick.
Throw away all the dice.
I'm sending you weighted dice and you not know it.
What'd you get, Bart?
I got a 13.
Jeez. So
I think I need to retire these dice.
jeez, let me pull up my stats here as this creature attacks.
Telmoon's, it doesn't make a difference what Telmoon's doing since he's just riding, right?
You're on, yeah, but
I'm on Sophia.
So you're just along for the ride at this point.
Okay.
What do you mean? Tamoon can't pull
The
a
rest of you
drive
all
by?
make it, and as you're landing, you're looking back to see those other friends who are still in the sky.
Just trying to ratatouille Sophia. It's fine. We got this.
The creature. First off, since there's 2 fails, as it's diving in, you see it whip its tail. It looks something like this thing. Oh, it's
Oh, we know what a manicore looks like
I
very
know.
well.
Thing that's
Well,
slightly
me and
out of
Nick
frame.
have history with manicores.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
as it's flying in.
Dare you bring that up?
And so it flings these little darts that kind of whip out of that scorpion tail on the back of the creature. Making a strike against both of you. Against Bart for a dirty 20, and to Sophie.
That will miss.
It misses Sophie. Okay, it misses both then.
Yeah.
You all
The stupid AC squad.
as you're like very close to landing, you're like hovering, so you're at a really close point where you could. Here's what I want to know from you: you're flying. Do you turn around and kind of go in a defensive stance and kind of like, and there's an opportunity for you to like almost like you see a bear? Do you go for intimidate, or do you flee? Do you continue to run, or do you try to like maybe because you've dodged it, kind of turn back and scare it like together and like show that you have no fear and maybe it doesn't want to fight, right? It is it is a creature, and at the end of the day, you know, it's not like it has any other intention other than to like try to grab an easy prey. And sometimes a more difficult prey is not what something's looking for. So there is an opportunity that even though it's big, it's like, maybe not. What do you...
Yeah.
I'll also give you an opportunity
Bart?
to tell me what you might be doing to make yourself quote unquote bigger or, you know, ferocious or whatever.
As
if that's what you
Manticore
decide to do.
swipes at both of us, Bart takes the shield and he tries to do like a shield bash and like yell out with it, trying to look more imposing or like closer up to it. And he is trying to make it run away.
Can Fitz enhance with a cantrip?
Yes. What is the cantrip that you're going to use?
I want to do a thunderclap
Okay, I'm making a roll.
when he does the shield bash.
Okay. That makes me have a disadvantage on my roll. Or it actually doesn't make it gives him an advantage on the roll that I asked for him. So okay, it's a help action. So okay. Sophia?
No, she's just gonna keep going.
Keep going.
Fuck this thing.
Uh
She's not very intimidating.
Dex save from Sophia.
Who's intimidated? You still know.
Yes.
Intimidation check from Bart at advantage.
Okay.
You know that charisma side. Let's go.
Okay. 24.
Hey.
Okay. Beautiful.
That's
This is-
24, 22. Shit.
Jeez, I'm not rolling really hot tonight, so there you go. 22. So Sophia lands. The creature sees that, hears that boom, boom, as you know, as Fitz kind of makes mirrors as the shield goes up, and some of those little spikes from the tail whip, those little darts, land in the shield. The creature realizes, and then seeing the others preparing for a fight, that this is probably not worth it. Looking for a soul that's kind of weak and a little bit more tender, easy to be snatched. Turns back, but as it flies up, what it does do is its tail, it whips that tail one more time, and with a magical flurry, and the tail fires off 5 to Bart. Actually, no, to Sophia. This Bart really kind of scared it and shook it up. You'll take 19 points of force damage as these like little magical darts kind of fly out of the tail and all just go streaming at you. When as they pummel, the creature takes off and goes back up into the sky, leaves you all alone.
Yeah.
As you like land there, kind of looking around, waiting for something else to happen, things get quiet. And what you do notice while you're here, there's about a 150 foot, like almost like wouldn't be a full radius because it's not a full circle, but you know, you got like 150 feet that that's like a cliff in front of you. And as you look down, you just made it to the first landing, As you look down, you can kind of see another landing 300 feet away, but it's starting to get much darker down there in the pit. And then in front of you is that structure that I described, or that like temple structure that you can just kind of walk up. There's these two grand doors that look like they're stone, but layered in, or stone that were like covered in like bronze. And they depict like great heroes and champions doing these kind of wondrous things. And it looks like someone really big and heavy could actually open the stone doors or push them either in or pull them outward. And then about 50 feet from that temple, or that structure, there's also, in a little hole in the wall in the corner, there is a cave, like a cave passage that's probably big enough for everyone to fit through, pretty tight, that's leading like into a darker passage that's more naturally constructed. So there's straight down, there's the cave, and then there's the structure. What do you all do?
How big are those doors you said?
Put it this way, Taroxy's when he grows large would be the size of the doors when he grows large. So they're like 10-foot tall doors. Wide as two of Taroxy's. Maybe a little less than that, because he'd be like, so they're by 30 feet wide, 10-foot tall, double doors, but meant for, look like a giant would push them in, right?
Thanks for the help earlier, Fitz. Did we want to check out what's in that building, that structure?
I'm not strong enough to open it. Are you?
I probably would need help, but I think I could get one of those doors.
I think, and the Persis kind of flexes the arm of the
Now we're talking.
mech that she has. I think I can help you out.
Use the super arm.
Bart nods, walking over to the right door to try and push it.
Persis takes the left.
I'm
Okay.
assuming this will be an athletics.
Athletics check. With the arm, are there any stats that you're using for the arm? If not, I will just give it advantage on the strength, because I think I don't have it pulled up right here, but I know it does. It gives you a nice bump to strength, right?
The arm sets your strength at 19.
Yeah, okay. So it should give you, all right. So then, athletics checks, and then it's between the both of you, we'll kind of treat it as you can both roll like a help, and then whoever gets the highest result, that's going to be the one that counts.
Okay.
All right.
Natural one.
Oh shit!
13.
All right. So as you both kind of give it a push, it's almost like the arm short circuits for a minute, and it moves. You kind of push it in, and you get it to nudge, and you realize, man, this thing is like really jammed shut, but not completely. But it does make a bit of a noise, kind of as you grinding as you're pushing it inward. You take a step back. You can take a moment. You can try again. This time at advantage, if that's what you want to keep doing. But yeah, it is stuck pretty tight there.
It's coming loose. I think we can get it on the next attempt.
At that moment, you also hear something off the cliff, deep down in the deep. The entire frame, everything around you is kind of shaking as something down there in the dark is moving. Kai kind of like leaps over to the edge and looks down.
Do you see it?
Echoing out.
Oh no!
and then blows fire like a flame torch and then stops. Fitz, you try to stop her. It seems to be kind of excited.
Oh, what do you see?
She roars down into the darkness. It's quiet. The movement stops.
Maybe you spooked it.
And yeah, and so it's quiet, and it seems to be kind of gone.
Hide in that cave for a little bit, just in case.
The entire place structures again as something roars from down below. Whoa, much louder than.
Maybe we need to be able to get inside these doors. Maybe close them behind us.
Can you get them open? Do we all need to push? I'll push.
1, 2. Come on.
Pushing.
Everyone helping everyone can give me an athletics check.
Sophia's gonna actually like keep an eye on the going down. I want to see if something's coming up.
Yeah.
27.
Insight check from Sophia. 27 is a good check. Okay, so that
24.
That alone will do it. 24 will do it. So finally, this time with everyone, it's like as they're pushing, everyone kind of runs and kind of like dog piles against the door, and it kind of goes pushing forward. And they kind of spill into this chamber as Sophia's kind of listening and realizes that the thing, whatever it is down there, is moving away. It's like, even though it's still shuttering the chamber, it's moving farther, deeper away.
That thing's fucking massive. Okay.
That's even worse, Mal.
Yeah, no.
And so they find themselves in this grand kind of hall, pillars all around them. And the hall is constructed almost like an oval, but it just has these grand ionic pillars leading towards the end. And on the other side, almost a football field away, they can still, because they're so large and looming, they can see these statues lining the end of the hall, and a large doorway that these statues the end of the hall is not a square. It's kind of like it's curved, round, almost like an alcove of its own. It's probably probably not the right terminology, but it's just rounded. And so in each of these separate alcoves is a statue, and that statue is a story and a half high, hard to make out any further details, but these looming statues at the end of the hall, and what you can at least make out is another, even a larger door than the one you just walked through, 2 double doors that come to an arch point. Other than that, it's very dark in here. If you don't have dark vision, it's hard to make out, but there is this weird, it's which doesn't make sense, right? Because you're deep underground, at least 300 feet, right? So there shouldn't be any skylights, but there is light peering in through openings in the ceiling that are bathing just enough for it to be dim light here, beyond. So it's it goes from spotlighted sections, so it's dim light in some section, and then it's pitch black in others. And the dim light at the end allows you to still see the cascade of those figures.
I'm gonna cast dancing lights and send them out into the area to try to illuminate some of the dark spots.
Beautiful. And so this starts to allow you to see that this hall, as those lights kind of illuminate more of the space, the hall looks like it might have been a banquet hall at one time. There's no food or anything, but these in between those large columns are these large tables. Some of them have been broken, like wooden or oak, where they look like, and there's lots of silverware and plates and bronze plates and silver plates that are scattered around the floor. Strangely, there are no if you were in the material plane, you might, if you were to come up to a place like this, in disarray like this, you might see like bones or death, but no spider webs, nothing like that. But it does still feel like a tomb. It does still feel very different from the vibrant place that it used to be. So that allows Fitz to kind of make out that it probably was some kind of grand banquet hall for champions at some time.
And there's another door?
There's at the very end. So yeah, if you walk all the way that football field to the other side, then you would get to that door, and it can describe a little bit more what's there if that's where they're going.
Nowhere to go but forward, eh?
Let's see who the
There is
statues
another
are.
there is another cave outside too, but just so you know that this isn't your only way forward.
Would Kai fit in the cave outside?
Kind of like fold the
tight.
Yeah, just very tight,
Okay.
claustrophobic tight.
Okay.
Anyone else? Everybody's just pushing forward, just kind of marching down the hall.
Said I wanted to check out the statues.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So as you get to the end of the hall, you're gonna say something?
Oh, Bart would also be checking out the statues with Ursus.
Okay. 6 towering figurines or figures stand in each set in an alcove around the room. They all depict almost identical hooded figures with faceless hooded figures. Each statue is facing a central stone table, and on top of that table is an assortment of slightly oversized. The statues are huge. I mean, you almost can't get to where their hands are, but slightly on the table. The table is more moderately like your size. You know, you all could pick up each of the objects on. Fitz would be like, I mean, the object would be huge, but like you could even Taroxys or most of you could still. Bart would be pick something up with fair amount of ease, but there are these stone structures on the table, and each is carved in the shape of the following. There is a book, there is a scythe, there's a dagger, there's a spear, there's a hammer, and there's a stone crown. The arched door is right between the three. There's a door in between between one of the figures, almost like in the middle of its, body that leads deeper into wherever you're at. Each of the figures, while they're hooded, is slightly different. One of the figures' fingertips is stained in a dark ink. One figure has mud-crusted boots or sandals, but just covered in like in actual mud. One figure has blood-stained hands. You start to hear the drip, drip, drip as one of the figures' hands drip. You can smell the salt in the air drip seawater. One of the figure's hands is covered in soot and dirt. And then one figure is spotlessly clean. All of them have their hands outstretched towards you. Almost as though
and they look like the stone objects are around the size that these figures could hold proportionally.
yes. Yeah, so I'll retcon that a little bit. I think I made them a little too large and grand, but they would be a bit smaller when you approach. And yeah, they look like they could they could hold what is being offered.
So, can I get the hands? What did they have? There's seawater, soot,
Seawater, hands covered in soot, hands that are clean or blood stained hands, mud crusted sandals, fingertips stained in ink. There is a dagger, a spear, a book, a scythe, a hammer, a crown.
Rough guys. I'm assuming book to ink, hammer to
I think
soot.
so.
Outside of that, I'm maybe spear to blood or dagger to. I'm outside of hammer to ink and hammer
think
or hammer
the-
to soot and ink to book. I'm lost.
Stone
spear
crown is
to
spotless.
I think spear is seawater.
And to be clear, we're talking about a single tipped polearm, like just a spear, no
Yes.
bident, no trident,
No bident, just a spear.
straight spear.
Spear. Very basic spear.
Someone who would like work in the fields would use a scythe, and they might have some dirty sandals.
Yeah,
Might be
I like scythes
might
and
be
mud.
covered in
Sure.
mud. Dagger, I guess would be. I guess it might be
Bloodstained hands.
So we're going dagger, blood, and then spear, water.
I think
then
spear,
Crown,
water.
clean.
Crown clean.
Book ink makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel like we only have 3 solid, and the rest we're guessing on.
Uh-huh.
Well, like
Yep.
the hammer
Are-
would be the soot, right?
Be soot.
Yeah.
Are there any other distinguishing marks on the statues or the alcoves anywhere?
Investigation check from Fitz.
I'm doing great, you guys. 15.
Okay, so this is probably the lowest I've seen the Bullies roll in a long time. 15 is still good enough.
Okay.
No, they're not. Like they, outside of those distinguishable features, there's nothing else really setting them apart. What I will say, since you did get that right, and I feel like that it feels kind of like cheap not to give you anything else, I do need an insight check though for this. I need an insight check if you
Okay.
can. This is
22.
okay. I will tell you, it feels for the most part that you all are you're on the right track in making good assumptions.
You know, you guys, I just have a really good feeling about our guesses. I think we're doing great.
One thing to consider, one thing I think Fitz asks herself, does it matter the order these things are given? Does it?
Oh. Is it more than just matching them with the right statue? Is it about a hierarchy? We're supposed to do them in a certain order?
Possibly.
Oh. You guys. What's the socio-economic situation here?
And do we start with the peasant or do we start with the king?
You want to go high or do you want to go low?
Higher low, higher low.
I mean, starting with the slave is always the easiest, in my opinion.
Okay.
And are we assuming then that the scythe and mud is the lowest?
Of course, only the slave would do real work.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Does
Uh,
Okay. Then who would come next? The person who works with the hammer?
Should we give the scythe to Mudfoot and see if anything happens?
Let's start
I-
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So what are we gonna do?
We want to give the scythe to Mudfoot and see if anything changes.
Okay. So as
His
you
muddy
walk the
feet just
scythe
start
over
glowing.
and you hand it, the figure moves, grabbing the scythe, like leaning forward enough to grab it, bring it in, like leaning back into the alcove, and goes back to being a statue. And the scythe is now a part of the statue itself, holding the scythe. That seemed to have worked.
I don't know if it's not bad.
It's not bad, which means it must be good.
Suddenly, Kai spins around, starts growling towards the darkness. You have your little orbs
I
floating.
have the orbs. Can I take one of the orbs and shoot it in that direction?
And as it floats in
What
that
do you
direction, you see a figure, very pale and dark, with no top of the head and smokiness, standing in the corner, and just slips away as the light. As the light hits it, you saw Ashiok, and then they were gone.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
you
little Kai, mini Thraxes, stops growling.
Oh, good job. You keep on alert. You hear or see or smell a whiff of that thing, you let us know. Thank you. Good job.
She goes over to
Oh
the
my
corner and starts sniffing.
Yeah. So we're not letting that mini Thraxes nonsense slide. We heard that.
Yeah.
So yes,
We all
the
panicked.
Mud Crusted Shoes has taken the site, and is holding it at this point.
Okay.
Mud
Next,
boot.
Who's the next forest?
Mud feet.
probably Soot Hammer. No?
Someone Blair's.
Would it be a blacksmith?
Would it be a blacksmith? Would it be? I mean, are we assuming that the spear is a fisherman?
Are we thinking the spear's a fisherman?
Oh.
I'm still, because I
Which
still don't
trade?
know
Who the
what's dagger with blood, like the
Yeah.
bloodstained
Assassins.
hands.
Hey, we don't know if those are highly paid or not.
Well,
Yeah.
remember, spear is more of a soldier's weapon than a fisherman's.
That's
And the fisherman, there's no net. So what's the fisherman fishing with? There's no net. There's no string. It's got to be a
So
spear.
it's probably a soldier then?
The bloody one is probably some sort of soldier or assassin.
probably. It just,
Well,
God.
I don't know what. It just dagger. I don't know if that fits with the fisherman.
Almost,
You know?
the dagger.
Does
it look
I mean,
like,
a way it does, but I don't know if
yeah.
Mal went that
Does
far.
it look like
into
a
it.
work dagger, or does it look like a dirk? Like, we know implements of killing.
Give me a investigation.
I'm good at
check.
one thing.
Investigation check. Tell me.
I gotta investigate.
That is not that
for
one thing.
Alright.
Can I use my heart?
Give me.
Investigate.
Give me your. What's your heart? What's your?
I don't fucking
Give me your
know.
Can I
wisdom.
use
It's either
my,
wisdom. I'll give you.
My
the-
wisdom's not better. Okay,
I'll
that's
give
a
you
dis-
advantage
It's a
because
16.
looking at this, yeah, that's good. So the dagger, remember this oversized dagger? It looks like a sword to you, but it is clearly a dagger by the size of statues. This is not a. This is a killer's dagger.
It's a killer's dagger.
Yeah.
This is a
This dagger
professional.
takes lives.
Okay.
Licks
With
it.
that-
So it tastes like
And
life.
I'll add to that, the spear doesn't look. It doesn't look like a military spear because there's like Acheron soldiers in here, Barts in
Uh-huh.
there. This looks like a flimsy made spear you'd use to survive in the wild, right? Like it's a spear, just a regular
All
spear.
right. So is the soldier poor or is the fisherman poor? It's got to be one of those two. Blacksmith in general is fairly useful
Yeah.
to society.
I say
Mhm.
fisherman.
Fisherman?
I would agree.
Yeah.
All right. Tell Boo to walk the spear over
To which statue?
to the drippy water.
Because the water is kind of dripping off. You hear lightning from above. Those spilling hands. The water kind of like runs onto you as you like try to hand it and fumble with it. It snatches the spear from you and like turns it around and raises it as though it's going to strike Telmoon, and then wing, and like slams it into the floor and pulls up and holds the, doesn't strike you, holds it against its chest. And now the water is dripping off the spear.
Knew your ass was broke. All right, who's next?
Okay, so where do we think bloodstained hands versus hammer?
It depends on the
versus
level
Lexington?
of their skill, which is the scary part of it. The more skilled each one is, can bring them higher up.
Which is prettier, the hammer or the dagger?
Prettier?
Yes.
Um,
Is one more ornate?
The dagger's more innate than the hammer. The hammer is very basic.
And that's your tradesman. The dagger, that's got to be for some fancy killer guy who's like, oh yes, I only kill with this type of steel. I mean, if I was killing people, I would want special steel, I guess.
I kill people, and it's not what I usually say while I'm doing it, but we're going to go ahead and go hammer. Telmoon looks back over his shoulder again.
Hammer going to...
Hammer to sit? Is this happening?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Hammer soot.
Fuck it.
Telmoon.
Snatches the hammer out of Telmoon's hands. The statue rises up. Ding! Strikes the ground with it. Brings it back up. Leans into the alcove. That statue is now complete as well.
Now, the real question is the bookish person higher than the stabby person?
I mean, the bookish person can
Yeah.
read. That's pretty good.
That's pretty
That's-
high up, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
can we-
probably dagger book crown.
Is there
Is-
any indication on how fancy the book is?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, DM, how fancy is the book?
It's not fancy at all, really.
Oh, it's less fancy than the dagger, huh?
It is less fancy than the dagger.
What's that mean? But he has enough money. He has enough money to be able to touch books with ink on his hand and not get punished. Put that out there. Because if in real life guy was touching books with ink on the hand like that, they get smacked up.
Never worked for a newspaper.
So we're going book. That's that what your heart's telling you?
I don't know, because Melodus is all about like knowledge.
Right?
It's Elysium. This ain't Melodus.
Doesn't matter, like going off like it's going off normal mortal lives. So one of the polises is all about knowledge and reading and citizenship. I don't know if that's higher than a fucking trained assassin or not.
I will say, I'd rather get hit by a book than stabbed if we're wrong.
What if that book is full of spells?
That's a possibility.
How many wisdom saves can you make?
None, apparently. I don't know if I feel comfortable making the final call on this. What do you guys think?
I want to say.
I think Telmoon would think that the book guy must be important. Just
I have
going
a
by Talmud's
question.
train of thought.
I have a question for you, Mal.
Mm-hmm.
When Bart was, when Akros was still running, what was the hierarchy that he experienced? Like, were there a lot of studious types that, like scholars, and were they like highly ranked in Akros?
Being as your Akros is built almost solely as a military culture,
Yeah.
those who were in higher ranked in terms of that level of philosophy, intelligence, all those different schools, all that, your rivals would end up leaving. Those people interested in those pursuits would end up leaving Akros to kind of head to Meletis because they could expand their careers. Because not that you didn't have it, you just had it in smaller circles, and many times it felt like the kind of idea of book knowledge was kind of shunned, unless you're on the higher council, right? Who serves the monarchy, who serves the queen. But other than that, especially at your rank, you wouldn't have come across or met very many of those who, poets and scholars and things of that nature. They were a smaller subgroup of your culture. There was even a time where most of Akros had, to give Talmud a nod here, were slavers for a very long time. Before they eventually dropped that, and even still in that, they kind of turn to making you're still obligated within Akros to go into the military at an early age, man or woman, to pay that time towards the society. So war is the scholar. That is the scholars of war overall.
Yeah, I think Bartholomew would say that the book should go next.
And so we watch those inky hands snatch the book. And even though it's stone, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Reaching it towards, coveting it. The figure holds the book inwards in the alcove, and the book is being held.
Oh.
So far, everything that has been offered has been accepted.
Now, does not the assassin kill the king?
The assassin is not ranked higher than the king, is he?
He is once the king dies.
Then someone else is king.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Then you become the king.
Chaos is king.
Let's not overcomplicate this.
Dagger next.
Dagger next.
Who offers the dagger? Is this Telmon still going back and forth offering all the...
Yeah, tell me when they scared of no stone.
As the dagger is offered up, the hands outstretched, those bloody hands, snatch the dagger away. Unlike the others that kind of made that gesture of aggression gesture, the dagger is quickly tucked away, and the figure goes back, collapses their hands.
Hey, you trying to be nondescript? You might want to wipe some of that blood off, my boy. So we're left with just the crown.
Yeah.
Take that crown. You give him that crown, Talmud.
Yeah,
You've been doing so good.
There's no reverence to this. We just grab the crown and kind of toss it up to this dude who just sits around and doesn't do anything. I mean,
we're talking like a frisbee toss.
we're not gonna toss it up. We just gonna kind of, there's no reference to it. We just handing this one over. There's no respect for authority around here.
You bring the crown forward to those outstretched hands. You're taken. Your hands clutch the crown. The hooded figure leans forward and places the crown above its head.
You're muted.
You muted yourself.
The crown figure is the one above the doorway. And so as it crowns itself, it leans back and places its arms out. All are complete. You guys hear like interlockings as you're kind of like pushing in on the door. As it seal begins to kind of crack. And then the farthest corner, the one with the dagger, pulls the dagger out and goes down towards a stabbing gesture, and stabs the air. And the dagger did like kind of fades away and materializes in the heart of the crowned one. And blood begins to kind of pour out of the king's chest over the doorway. And as all this blood is like pouring out,
you touched it again.
Yourself?
Actually hitting this. It's my fault. As the blood is pouring out, suddenly the one that was the daggered one, that statue steps out, and it pulls back its robe, even though it's stone. That stone is like morphing and moving, and you realize that under it is this slightly like this roguish armored figure, but it as it steps forward, it leans backwards, and its legs leaning backwards as though it curls all the way back so that it can be on all fours. And once it's on all fours, its limbs break backwards, like so that it could stand like a dog, and the head snaps all the way around, and then it begins to move towards you all.
Fucking guiding bolt. Fuck that thing.
I was on his side all through the regicide, but this shit right here, we don't stand for that.
As you all kind of like drop into defensive stances, this thing is moving forward. I'll go around the room as it's like moving towards you. What you also notice is that it pulls out this mace. The mace is facing towards the ground, but the top of the mace has a giant like a lantern on it, or torch, and that lights up with a necrotic energy, like spectral souls pouring from this torch, and it begins to swing that thing back and forth as it moves towards you in the hall. So guiding bolt, you want to like let that off, and
yeah.
What's everyone else doing as you let that off?
Yeah, that's
How much did the door open?
It did
Yeah.
it. It just like
It just
it
unlocked
moved, and
kinda?
it just kind of made like a click, but then it never opened.
Okay.
33 to hit.
33 will hit.
Bart rushes in to try and stab it.
Okay. Bart's rushing forward.
Oh, damn, that's nice.
Yeah. Moby does the same.
Percy is gonna Persis is gonna let off some Eldritch Blast.
Jackson?
Percy Jackson, yeah.
20 radiant damage to it.
He takes it.
Is a 17 is gonna miss?
That's gonna miss.
Okay. Why can I not math? 24? It's gonna hit though?
24 will hit.
So,
Okay.
if you're next to hit, you would get advantage on your first attack. Whoever's
I think-
attacking right after Sophia gets advantage.
I think Bard would have gotten it.
Yeah.
Okay. So first attack would have been a 26,
It's gonna hit.
24, a 20. No, wait. 21. And the shield bash would have been a 29. So all of those would have hit.
All hit.
Does he care if it's piercing it and
Take it.
Add it? Okay.
And that should be 37 force damage from the Eldritch Blast.
Okay. 37. Okay. So you guys are just laying into this thing, going off. And I'm allowing you to take attacks, but remember, if, you're not taking a full turn here. You're just actually just telling me what you're doing in the moment as it's like kind of moving towards you. So it's still taking.
Right.
52 points of damage.
Okay.
This is the first time that this has become an issue
Okay, what's the issue?
since I've turned level 17. Telmoon runs up and stabs this thing and scores a nat 20,
Okay.
which means that every creature within 10 feet of Telmoon needs to make a con save
Oh.
Or what?
Man.
or be blinded.
Oh.
Oh man.
Telmoon usually isn't next to people when he stabs things. Technically, the thing needs to make a save as well, but I'm seriously
As dark as
not-
this place is, I'm going to say that to everyone. There, you guys are all huddled together in this moment. You guys are doing this puzzle together. There would have
What-
been time to like set up a perimeter, right, and like attack in a certain way. So, Telmoon's just doing it. Yeah.
What is the save?
21.
Oh, I failed.
Constitution.
Jason,
Dante.
I rolled the dice you gave me.
Uh-huh.
It gave me a natural 20.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
We got 2
22.
people not blinded.
I am blinded.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm blinded.
How long does that last until do they get a chance? to
It's a minute, but they can save at
shake
the
it
end of
at
each of
the
their
end of
turns.
each turn? So, poof, as this-
I'm immune to my own condition giving, but I'm assuming it's also immune, so it's not going to make the con save.
it's immune to that.
Yeah, I assume
Yes,
so.
It takes the damage though.
Great. Good job, fellas.
At this moment, I'm actually going to use that as a segue because that light going off halts everyone in their tracks, right? Boom, as Telmoon slams into the thing, it pushes back, and I imagine as you cut into it, right, you kind of push back that torch that it had that's letting off that like necrotic purple smoke. The creature seems to be angered by all of this. And it kind of staggers back like a dog or spider, and as heavy as it looks, it leaps up into the darkness, up into the wall. You hear it like climbing up into the ceiling that you cannot see, and as you all are like looking around where it's coming from, you hear it detach, and you see it coming down because you see that purple smoke from the torch as it's coming down over the top of all of you, and as it's about to strike, we just let that purple and that smoke envelop our screens, fade to that color of light, roll credits. We'll
Stop
pick back
playing
up there.
Dark Souls, Demon, whatever. I don't give a shit. You're cut off.
You're
More of the boreal ballad.
crap
my ass.
walking monsters.
Not that it matters that much, but that was 32 damage.
Yeah.
32
I got
damage, you
32,
blind half
50,
your
you
party.
guys
It's not my fault you guys are standing too close to the fire. Okay, you guys know better than to stand there. I run away from you guys all for a reason.
Normally, I'm standing like 100 feet away from everyone.
So
I've
he's-
never
mean,
had this issue.
Another game. We'll be
Never.
starting with another combat.
This has been a thing since I was level 13.
Oh my god.
But normally I just don't make Mal make the saves because I assume all his damn things have magic resistance and are fucking immune to it. But
Can
that's
I
the first time
have
I've nat
insight
20
check
with
from
friends
everyone?
next to me.
As this is happening.
Sure, sure, like it.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
18.
Initiative.
Oh.
Oh, you want an initiative?
Oh no, not initiative.
Is
Just,
that
just an
initiative?
insight check.
That's insight. My bad.
8.
Wrong I word. I got confused. I was like, initiative is
I
better.
misheard.
From all of us or just some of us?
Everyone in the scene. Yep.
Okay. Let me
Is
open my
Talbot an
character
enemy?
17.
Okay. So
23.
far I hear no fails.
Okay, so
Um,
If you're blinded,
No
should that be a
disadvantage.
disadvantage?
No, because this is more about like
With your heart.
what's happening. Yeah, this is with your heart.
I'm looking with my heart. Okay.
Your heart, your soul.
8 is not a fail.
Oh, 8. Yeah, 8 would be a bit of a fail. So
a bit?
a bit. Yeah,
A
that's a
little
fail. That's a fail. Sorry. So I'll say everyone that got the success, you do get just giving away an inspiration point, so that you can take an inspiration point. But
Woo.
so stupid inspiration point.
and then if there is another puzzle, you have to remind me. But you have if there is another puzzle somewhere in the underworld, you can also cast in that moment for like more information. But what this revelation is that you all did everything perfectly. Every piece went to exactly who it was meant to go to. But if the dagger was in the hand of the assassin when you handed the crown, the assassin would kill the king. So if you would have handed the dagger last, you would not have this boss fight.
Tricky.
Actually,
we
what I'll do,
actually
I'll
have
take.
to
You can either
think
take.
about
You can
things.
either take the token for another puzzle later, or all who passed this check could also turn. You could turn it in for more information on what you're fighting. So, like weaknesses on this particular.
I'll turn it in for more information on what we're fighting.
Okay, so that's on record. So I'll look at that next time, and then yours will be turning on that, and then I'll give you.
I don't do inspiration.
1 point on the creature.
I think you
But-
should probably start with that wisdom score of yours.
Fuck your
my man.
inspiration.
That's a good game though.
There's gonna be a lot more wisdom
Oh.
saving throws to come.
And I
Yeah.
won't fail all of them.
It's
Do
all
better
yeah,
at
When are we
it's-
gonna have a nice juicy feast?
Because you guys aren't investigating or like doing like you're like so a lot of times you're just kind of like taking in things. So yeah, it's a lot of like wisdom.
Yeah.
Takes an
I don't
hour
think there
to
was
cast
any
and
chance that we were not handing that dagger in the middle. Like the dagger was getting hit. There's
Yeah,
no
I
way.
think you would have
Oh, yeah,
always
no.
done it, but that's what triggers the.
But we did
We're-
know he was the assassin, and we
You did. You
called
do
out
know
that
it's
it
assassin.
probably
You
was gonna
called
kill
that
the
out.
king.
You knew
We
that.
just
Mhm.
didn't know
So
how to
the only
stop
other
it.
thing is like, do you hand it? If you hand it after, then it doesn't kill the king. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but
We might have started with the king first.
Right.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been different.
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. So that's my fault. I started with the poor people.
It's,
We
it
all
was a
agreed.
coin flip.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have. Yeah, and
Man, you just gotta think about things before we start giving it to statues and shit now.
And it is like a progression of like civilization. So probably something Afara would have built as it shows man or human surviving from fish. Well, I think it goes from fish to the scythe to toiling the fields, from toiling the fields to using the hammer, from using the hammer to learning the knowledge to books, and then that to kingdom. And once you get kinghood, that's when treachery takes place as people start to.
That makes
But-
sense.
That makes sense for sure.
It was
Oh.
more about behavior than socioeconomic standing.
Well, I mean, Mal only has himself to blame when we take like an hour to figure out a puzzle now. So we don't want to do another boss
That actually
fight.
wasn't that long of a puzzle. Like I thought it was pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
I should probably was a little.
Yeah, that one wasn't, but the ones
and we
future to
argued for
come
fun
now.
on that one. Like it wasn't necessarily us being.
I actually
stuck.
don't
We were
like
just
long puzzles. I try not to make them too difficult. But
Mhm.
You never know with D&D.
and
We have
so
the
what-
power to
and I think what
overcomplicate
Apple
anything.
what Apple would yell out is that this
1,000%
is
correct.
Apple would know this thing to be basically different levels of the underworld are guarded by creatures called the Philiskia. Eddie, you fought in a lower level Philiskia in your Theros game when you were playing your Triton. And the Philoskias, they are the beings that guard, that Erebos places at certain places to keep people from going to other places. And so that is what this thing is. They're all different. They all have different traits. And that's what you'll be fighting when we pick back up.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Round 2.
So it's not a statue.
No, yeah, it kind of turns from a statue into, you could consider it a construct, yeah. So I mean, in that way, yeah, it still moves in that way. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I squint in skepticism, but okay. Construct it is.
Oh man.
I think we did pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah,
Not bad, not bad.
All
I
things
got real
considered.
excited when I rolled that 20, and then my heart fell because I realized the proximity. Which is
I know that feeling, like the
Jeez.
stealth check, nat 20. Then I rolled a 3, and I was
That's
like,
a good amount of
"Son a
damage
bitch."
you guys leaned into it right there in that first round. So
That's cool. Yeah. Y'all don't need to see to avoid this thing falling on top of us, right? We're good.
I need to see for
Be
pretty
great.
much everything.
Mhm.
Well, depending on the initiative order, it'd be probably best to be blinded. I could just like sunburst and be like, everyone's already blinded. We're good.
It's not just my ability. I am immune to the condition, so you can sunburst Telmo. I think you would have probably picked that up from now seeing the giant burst of radiance in front of his eyes and him being okay.
So you telling me Telmoon could just like stare at the sun indefinitely?
I could. And in my canon, it's probably because Telmoon has been staring at the sun and waving his sword at it for so long.
that'll make no sense, but I'll take it. Yeah,
What you
I'll
mean?
make
I've been on that fuck you Hellion forever. I ain't scared
You
of no
still
sun.
can't stare at the
Stare at
sun. You
Just staring at it like, blink. As it's going down, like, yeah, you better blink.
But no.
That was good. I think this is the first time in a long time that we've had multiple encounters in one game, like almost
Huh?
back to back.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So we'll see how they.
Good. Considering how much of a problem this thing might be,
Yeah, we might need a rest after this one. This one might be
Yeah.
an issue.
I mean, it clearly is a Dark Souls boss, but I'm not
Yeah.
trying. I'm
That's
not
more-
trying to mimic the Dark Souls boss. I've made it something its own. But other than its looks, it's not going to be. I'm not trying to copy that boss.
So you're saying it
Yeah.
doesn't have 97 legendary actions that are just gonna fuck us all up right now?
I mean, it's gonna have some stuff, but if you expect it
It's
to do what
good.
you expect it to do what the video game did, then it probably won't do that. Stuff.
Yeah.
But,
now I just heard the description you were saying. I'm just like, I already know
No.
this motherfucker.
yeah, he's like, I know. Yeah.
See,
'cause I've
I
seen
don't
that
know
thing,
this
dog
motherfucker,
thing.
but the
It's just-
description just like
Yeah,
fit
it's awful because when you look at it,
perfectly. I was like,
that's his
"Mm."
torso. He clearly is meant to stand on this side. He's flipped backwards, which means his arm sockets have flipped around and the head had to twist around for it to look that way because those legs don't look right, right? So he's
Yeah.
bent-
Also,
he's
is he
bent-
just
his
moving
back is
on 3
broken
limbs now?
because that's the back of the armor. So,
He moves around with the mace clutched in his hand.
with the clutch,
so
so
he-
3 limbs. Yeah,
yeah.
crawls around on 3 limbs with the mace clutched. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fuck up one of those limbs.
Yeah.
Hobble this son of a bitch.
Oh man. I should introduce like target for creatures this big where you can just target certain limbs. What game is that where you can do that?
There's a handful of them.
There's
a
lot
that
of games
do
like
it.
that.
A lot of games like
There's
that.
a lot of games that have just in standard, like if you're fighting armored creatures or if you're armored yourself, it's damage soak instead of
Mhm.
AC. So you
Uh,
have to know where the thing is going to hit you
Yeah.
because if it hits you in your foot, there's no armor. But if it hits you in your chest, then
Right.
you have some sort of damage soak. But
I don't know
it
what
takes
that.
a little while longer.
Some game it looks like very like 16-bit, but it's super ruthless. It's called something dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon.
Is it-
You're thinking of
Is it?
right? Mm,
I think I've
No,
heard of
no,
Darkest
no,
Dungeon. It's
wait.
another one where one of the weakest characters is the mage. And I was watching this thing where the mage gets really strong because you can like resurrect bodies as you find them.
Fear
And-
and Hunger.
Fear and Hunger. That shit blew my mind when I watched videos on it. I would never play it because it looks too rude. I mean, I would never make it to the end. But there's this moment where the mage takes the bodies that you that you do on necromancy, and you find this thing called marriage. And so once you marry yourself to one of the zombies you've resurrected, you become like this behemoth. But then you now have all your spells, so you become like one of the strongest beings in the game. It's like walking around as a barbarian, but like as a mage. But nobody ever finds that out unless you play the game as the mage to figure that out, because a lot of times you die so often as the mage that no one's like, I'm not playing this fucking character. Yeah,
The game really, that game really did take take the visual concepts of like Morkborg and turned it
Bro,
into it's super messed up.
It's very
Can I just say Mao just made a statement that a video game was too ruthless,
Never thought
and
the day would come.
and he played Straw the way he did.
Yeah, I find a lot of games too.
I'm just saying like that.
I know. You're right. I'll give you that point taken.
I was like,
because I don't play like I like more, but I don't play games like Dark Souls. I love the lore. Like I literally like sit and listen to lore videos. This is one guy that just does the lore of Dark Souls, and I love it. But I can't play the games because like I just can't. It's the what do you call it? It's the gameplay loop that I can't deal with. It's going out and dying over and over and over again.
The constant punishment.
It's punishment. Yeah, I can't. I can't do it. I just go like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't got time for this. You know, like. And my brother, on the other hand, like is beating Elden Ring, and he loves it. And I watch him play. I'm like, it's fantastic to watch somebody get to the point where they can beat and punish one of these bosses. And I'm like, damn, because I gave up on like try 3, and like here you are like fighting this epic boss. So I do get it. I get the reward structure of what it does and what it does for you as a gamer when you can do it. But man, does it not work for me when I try it.
Reminds me of a video I saw someone like fighting I think it might have been Elden Ring or one of the Dark Souls. It's like, this is an RPG. What role am I playing?
Well, yeah, there is no role. It's absolutely what you're playing. You're like, there is no role playing, and like those are not role playing games. I think there's a lot of video games that aren't role play games that I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I love Final Fantasy, but like when the JRP, these are not RPGs. These are characters that are already written. Cloud is already written. I get to make a couple choices for Cloud, but I'm not role playing Cloud. I'm just kind of taking part in this really cool story. And I think that was the aha moment that when I was a kid, like I thought I was playing role-playing games because I had played all these role-playing games on my SNES. I played them Chrono Trigger. I was like, dude, role-playings are kind of cool. And then when I played D&D and was like, oh shit, this is like, it's kind of like it. It's like at the base level, it is it, but it's not. Like this isn't, nothing I've ever played is role-playing until that moment, And Eddie started coming over and playing with us, and like things start happening that could have never happened in a video game. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm done. Like I have no reason to play video games anymore for a long time, even though I'm starting to kind of go back. But that's kind of what made me depart and be like, so yeah, that was my journey. Before there was a Critical Role, before there was anything, it was just like me being like, oh shit, like anything's really possible here. And that was
you kind of had a little bit of it with Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think so. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking all those games are amazing, and I think there's been a lot of. It's just nothing ever really. I don't think anything will ever, even like Baldur's Gate. I don't think anything can truly capture this experience, and I don't think it's meant to. So I'm not knocking it. I think it's just interesting. I think a lot of people have a lot of people who are coming into role playing or tabletop role playing have, if they're video game players, they have a misconstrued idea of what this is going to be. There is no
100%.
respawn point. There is no do-over. There is no.
I don't know about play Baldur's Gate on multiplayer.
Yeah.
When fucking Nick starts a combat 1,000 feet away from you, and you're just like, why are we in turn-based mode? What the fuck just happened? Oh, that one guy went over there is in a fight?
I imagine that multiplayer is the closest thing to D&D.
Like RPG.
Absolutely, for sure.
I love the moment that we had where we get a like a combat encounter going, and everyone just turns into cats and dogs because I was a wild sorcerer.
Oh, so wild magic took place, and just that's crazy. That's nuts.
And it wasn't just like a combat that was happening. It was one that had importance in the story, and it was a serious moment. Like, surprise, we're all cats.
Yeah.
That
sounds like Nick.
Oh man, yeah, Nick, you're that guy. Nick and Renee are going to break your game either in that really, really amazing way, or you're gonna be like, fuck. And it's all gonna happen within seconds. And you're gonna be like, all right, this is where
If
we're going.
Renee survives the first combat,
If Renee survives the first combat, make sure your BBG has like 93 cousins just in case.
Yeah, he couldn't make it tonight, but I had reached out to him. Yeah, Renee's wild.
I'm sure there were plenty of hands to bite.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I'll still never forget him biting off what's his name's hands. I forget that the guy who created the
Theodetus?
yes,
Exekias?
Exekias.
Or
That, I think it was his. The artist who had created the. I love that arc. That was a fun. That was one of my favorite arcs of the story. Dang, we
Did
really
not like the
been all over
disintegration ray in that arc.
No.
That was
no.
wild.
No.
That was wild. Yeah, we've been through some craziness. I was like, been really thinking about this because with this being like close to 3 years in this campaign, like trying to
Jeez.
land this plane. We're like in that weird thing where it's like I think you're very close. You're like in that final dungeon. It's not really a final arc, and that dungeon itself is kind of an arc, you know. But a lot can happen, and
So, like, one more year?
It's interesting.
In this dungeon.
I think maybe I'd say we're probably here for a couple 2 to 3 months, depending on what you guys do. 6 months, I think we'd be pushing it if we get that far.
Are you talking about through the underworld, or are you talking about through
just through the game,
Theros?
through Theros, through Theros? I think that would be like a real. I don't know what would have to happen for us to go along. I think we're really in the throes of the end of the game. Like I said, I just not rushing it because I really want you all to get the expanse and the breadth of the underworld as you explore it. And we're at that point where every decision you're making is kind of branching and letting me know like where things kind of like end up. So last game was really cool because you all playing those gods helped establish a lot of like I think what's happening on in the background. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I think that the group with so much happening in the world, it makes a lot of sense that the Bronze Bullies, even though the world is dying all around them, being sucked into a black hole, and there's like a new god, and Thraxes, they are like, we're gonna go get our friend first, no matter what. Like, right? So like they just like
fuck you guys.
they just dive into a side quest at the very end of the game, and they just lean all the way into it, right?
This was always part of the main quest.
No, for you all, yes. To you all, it's the main quest, right? So it works. And it's my job to like make your side. And you know what you said, that's it. Like my side quest is your main quest. And that's different from a video game, right? Like the main quest suddenly stops and waits for you to get back on track, and you know, whereas it's really weird to be like, okay, this is interesting. What is happening while they like spend time in the underworld?
Yeah.
The world
What
is
terrible things are happening while we're saving our friends.
What's going on with Theraxis Jr. over there that you just subtle name slip?
Yeah, that wasn't terrifying at all.
Not at all. I was like, fuck, not here,
I'm sorry,
not now.
Thraxes is coming
I
up
know
with
you've all thought it at least once. I was
I
just like,
completely forgot about mommy. I was like, nah, she ain't even scary no more. What you mean Theraxis Jr.? What's this nonsense?
I was gonna say it is terrifying of all the things happening while we're on our side quest, but also there are other heroes in the world.
Yes, exactly.
That's
Better
It
step
was so
up.
funny
fuck.
because I was waiting during the role-playing encounter with you all as gods. I thought you all might I didn't necessarily expect you to like propose with exact heroes, but I also thought like gods might be like, I have heroes here that can do certain things, right? Like and put those heroes in play. But yeah, you're all put on. That was one of the things I was thinking in the back of my mind that you might use.
What hero is left alive that we still got out there? The only one I really remember that was useful was the lion.
That you all remember. Remember what I'm saying is, remember I was saying I'm giving you all, because when I was saying you as a playing the
you wanted us
gods,
to create heroes.
I want you to create.
Oh,
moments
I
and
didn't know
create-
that was in the
I was
range
saying,
of
like,
abilities.
You all have
Yeah,
a
no,
I
chance
think
to.
just-
Athreos has a lot.
I
I
consider
knew
you
about it.
Basically, I
just didn't
considered
want
you
more
all like
Medioses.
game masters. All of us are game masters here, and we're kind of like just talking things through. And that's why I think if I had to give like MVP, it was like Colin playing Thassa was able to like
That was
expand
really
some
good.
breadth and be like, here's what I can do. And I was able to perceive from Thassa's actions the way I think Thassa would be working. Because Thassa knows she still has all of her krakens, all of the ocean, all of that is still available to her. And therefore, and then also like her disposition on like the way the world works helped me understand like where she's at on things. And then even when Thraxius left, she's kind of like, he's an idiot, but like make the idiot think that we're on his side, which is pretty cool.
Maybe a useful idiot.
But you made some really strong choices. I mean, you sent what? If I'm not wrong, is you sent Iroas and who else to go fight the
And Mogus.
and Mogus to go. Yes, I mean if you're gonna just throw two badasses at like the god, that's two that
And technically
kinda see them as-
Thraxes and his
technically-
Titans.
yeah, there's
I don't know how that's going to go,
So,
but technically that's who they're going with.
yeah. So we got some things. So you put some things in motion that I was like,
We're
yeah,
trying to disconnect the chains from the fucker. All right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
The more of them to die, the more of them we can replace at the end.
I don't expect one of them to survive.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Not a
interesting.
one.
Yeah.
I think it's working out perfectly. I actually like where the story's at. I've had some time to really think about it. So it's like, yeah, this all works. To me, it's all pretty cool.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
We ruin the world and then we try to save it.
The
We
fun of
fuck it up
D&D
in a
is
brand new way.
making it make sense is the fun part. I think that's what I get the fun out of. It's like, how do I make this make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah. How did that?
Sorry, I was just thinking back to the fight where like we were inside the painting and it was getting painted on while we were in
Uh-huh.
there, and I was like, awesome memory now, but at that time I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
That was a ruthless fight because that was Zen died in that fight. And
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Trust me.
I had
The
a
fucking thing like swapped 3 different times, and
So
the last
I had
time was
a-
that bull, and I was like,
yeah, I had a chart, and the most deadly one was that bull creature, and so every
Oh.
turn I was rolling to see what he would
you know
paint
what's funny?
the creature into.
That was
and
the
when
one
it-
that like killed you with its stank
Yeah.
breath.
that stank
Yeah.
breath just murders.
What's
you.
funny,
And I
though,
didn't make that
is-
creature up. That's just a D&D creature, just outright kills
That's
you.
crazy.
Correct. Yeah.
Jason over here going all like, oh man, I'm never gonna pass us wisdom save. You the only one that did that fucking game.
That was slow.
Oh.
That was slow that I passed.
Still wisdom.
Is it? A nat 20 then.
Yeah, you did.
You
Yeah,
did.
You were
so
the
I
only-
passed the one
because
out of 20 wisdom saves.
because it was like God level casted the spell, and Mal was like, you need a natural 20.
I always need a natural 20. That's why I didn't panic.
No, everybody did. It did not matter
Yeah.
what your wisdom score was.
Yeah. So it was the same for me as every day for me.
We've definitely had some zany games and some
I-
meta level games. We even had the episode where you guys were
That
transported
slow
to
effect.
the
fucked
40K
everything
world
up.
where the Terminators were for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know what,
Can we go back
I
there
don't
for
know
a
what my
second? Just get some
inspiration was.
weaponry.
I go back on like, what
I-
was I thinking there? That's
I love
so
how, like,
random.
Renee decided to drag along one of those lance weapons,
The
and you
lancing-
like,
Mhm.
you literally was like, all right, you got like 2
You got, like,
rounds with
2
this.
more rounds. This thing's got to run out of bullets at some point because he was just blasting shit. It was just disintegrating. Oh my god, Apo. is
Let's go back to that place real quick, get some weaponry,
Get
and
some
just
weapons.
fuck off.
They just come back with guns from the future to fight the gods with. Oh man, so good.
It'd be a lot more appropriate now.
Probably. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got Titans. Yeah, well, we got guns.
Yeah, they're in space now. They got shit. Yeah, all of it.
The future is here. Oh,
We told our cousins from America we was just out here now.
Oh, that's wild.
Bronze bullies show up, you just hear an eagle call in the distance.
Oh man.
the crazy thing I think back to with Zendine in the painting was that Zen made a clear choice because it was going to kill Proximos.
Yeah.
That's very
And you
true.
stepped in front of the way and it took that
turned out to be a wasted action because Proxenos was just a walking fucking time bomb anyway.
True.
For real.
I don't think so.
My boy
because-
had stage 3 cancer, not telling nobody.
He didn't even tell anyone.
the day he told everyone
Oh
he
my
died right now.
Hey
Oh,
guys,
by the
I'm
way, I
not
kinda
feeling too
don't feel
well.
great. Bye.
Well, honestly, I was more scared for like when Zen did that
That's wild.
choice. I thought it was gonna be